Get a pig, Care.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Kevin from Cigar Prop, and what is it? Ryan messed me up. I said with his microphone, and my whole opening just went to hell, and then I can't see my face up here. So, welcome to the I Kept That Cigar Show presented by Corona Cigar. I am your host, Kevin from Cigar Prop, and I am coming to you live from the Drew Estate Experience Asset Studios here on the sunny Gulf Coast of Florida.
Are you surrounding yourself with cans of empty oil drums?
Yeah. God, it was as soon as that microphone all the way across, I'm like, I lost it. I'm like, what the hell was that?
Sorry, I was getting in here. I had with my daughter and then food and then me, and I was like, shit, my microphone's halfway across the country.
Coming to you live from a semi-soundproof office.
Oh my God!
So Kevin, start over. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I already did it. Ryan Miller from Rocky Mountain Cigar Show is joining us tonight. Joining Care Viajante of Stogie Road Cigars. Care, welcome.
Thank you.
And then joining us in the background is producer Jessica.
Jessica,
say hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's been in Washington with us. You forgot to say hello. It's been a hell of a day. What is Yeah, that is. Let me tell you. My day started off this morning. I had to go to the bank, and I had the inside's closed. So I had to go through the drive-through to get cash for the air conditioning guy. So I had to write a check out to myself. So I just made it out to cash. Because that's how it's just dumb way you got to do it. Because the ATM doesn't let you have any money anymore. And I put it through there, and then she goes, "Do you want to cash this or deposit that?" And I go, "I can deposit it." And she goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Where does the money come from, though?" I go, "Do I get the money?" And then she's like, looking at me like, "What do you mean?" I go, "Yeah, but I wrote the check to myself essentially." She's like, "Oh, I didn't look at it." You know, yeah. You want to cash it or deposit it? I go, have I found a loophole? Like I would just start depositing checks I made out to myself, and until they caught on that they were. I don't
know how long that would work, Kev.
And this is my bank. You know, I'm like, oh, there's faith in this institution.
You're writing that check from your checking account.
Yeah, I know.
So that makes no sense.
Yeah.
And they had to have taken the check and.
Yeah, I know, and it just ended up being, and then I freaked her out because, and I'm like, crap, I brought the wrong check, and so I had to transfer money from one of my accounts. So I'm on my app while she's doing this, which totally messed with her, transferring money in between while she's trying to cash this check, and it's just like, welcome to the banking industry.
Oh my God.
What's everybody smoking tonight?
Go ahead, Care.
No, please.
Tonight, I can't. You know what? I can't get enough of this cigar. Ever since its release, and when I first bought it from Smokin', I can't get enough of it. The Micallef Black.
That was a really good cigar.
I just, for the price point, 25 count box. This thing is just perfect. I mean, you name me a cigar, $8-9 that's this good.
Got some time? No,
Yeah.
it's a no,
Yeah.
no.
That's new.
Yeah,
That's
I know. It's a great cigar. I
Rhetorical
loved it.
question, Kev.
Yeah, I loved it. Definitely had some. I did a little review of it. Definitely had some balls behind it. Definitely had some punch. So, what about you, Kara? Let's get into the Cigar Medics humidimeter cut and light. Remember, with the Cigar Medics humidimeter, you'll always know when to hold them and know when to smoke them. Kara, what are you smoking?
I got a hat trick here, Kev. I heard
Yep.
just a moan.
I said I didn't pick a cigar, so I was wondering what you had.
I
What the
got-
hell were these?
I got the deconstructed barber pole. I got the Edition 35 I'm smoking tonight in the 6x50 Toro. And then I have the deconstructed. Same filler, same binder. One Ecuadorian kinetic wrapper. One Habano Maduro wrapper. So you get the flavor of the binder and the filler with only one of the wrappers. So you'll be able to enjoy and appreciate the nuances and complexity of a barber pole cigar.
Ryan, have you do you know about that deconstructed barber pole that he has?
I've heard about it. I have not tried it yet.
Okay. It's Sagrado. That's what one of Ryan's sponsors.
Oh, no.
She wanted a cigar, and I had some Sagrados up here. So
No,
she's
it's
gonna
not
try
made.
it.
It's not made by Sagrado.
Yeah.
I'm so confused. What are we
I know.
talking about?
It's
Oh, Jessica, I gave her a cigar, and then they're from Sagrado.
Oh my gosh, those are fantastic. How
Yeah.
do you like them?
I only had one so far. They sent me a 5-pack, and I was really digging on them.
Which one did you try?
the fuck, you guys. Jimmy jumped right from the freaking deconstructed barber pole right to that.
We're gonna go back to that in a
No,
second.
go ahead. No, please.
So I don't know which
Please.
I don't know which one. I'd have to go back on Instagram and see which one I tried. So just so I can start my cigar, so I can have one. Then we're gonna go back to Kara's deconstructed.
No. Go ahead, Kev.
And then I am smoking the Rocky Mountain Cigar Show from BAMF Cigar.
Yes.
So we're finally digging into this one.
Woo.
And
Some
my
good bacon grease.
You know what this is?
what's that?
This is where the Rocky Mountain Cigar Show BAMF cigar is not.
Yes.
Hey, Care, when I first got that bundle, that's the very first RMCS labeled bundle, and I picked it up at TGS. So
You're throwing way too many
were-
acronyms at me to be able to make a valid freaking argument.
ABC is easy as 1, 2, 3.
So on my Cigar Medics humidimeter, I'm at 60%. So
Very nice.
So yeah,
Very nice,
you had to be
very
at
nice,
great.
very
You had to be at great, and we're going to talk about this cigar later on in the show. Care for
Let's see where I'm
Ryan.
at.
Let's start over, and with the
63% as well.
oh, right on
Oh, yeah.
with the deconstructed barber pole. Give Ryan a. Do you need a cutter and liar?
No, I'm not gonna smoke.
No, I'm
Okay.
good, thanks.
So
You're not going to smoke, Jessica?
No, I was, and that I have that bad headache, and I just feel like.
It'll make it worse.
Plus, I smoke all the time at work. Sometimes too many.
I know. Gosh. I smoke
I
at
know,
work all
it's
the
such a
time. My
rough-
wallet's
it's
too
a-
fat.
yeah.
The diamonds on the soles of my shoes are getting loose. God dang. Deconstructed barber pole. We started doing events last year, and I got the idea that people talk about barber poles. Are they kitschy, or do you really get good flavor off of, or different flavors off of the having two wrappers, so on and so forth. And the Aganorsa Leaf event, they were, what was it? Yeah, last year they were doing. I think they still do it, where they give you a little bit of tobacco from the filler and a little bit of tobacco from the
Yeah.
filler, and you put them together. And I thought, man, that's a great idea. But you know what? I'd like to do that, and so people can really get a feel.
That's what you're talking about, by the way.
Okay.
The Aganorsa stuff. I
Yeah.
just wanted to show so people had a reference
Yeah.
to what he's talking
So
about.
you smoke the different tobaccos that are in the filler. So then you smoke the cigar and see if you can get the the flavor of it. Yada yada yada. So I thought, you know what? What if I made a cigar with the same filler and binder as one of my barber poles. But since this has an Ecuadorian Connecticut and a Habano Maduro wrapper, wrap one of the cigars in the Habano Maduro and the other one in the Connecticut. So you could taste what that cigar would, the filler and binder would taste like with only one of the wrappers. But you get a full cigar. You just don't get the little, what do they call those? The Pikachus.
Tabaqueros, Tabaquitos,
Tabaquitos, yeah. So you actually get two cigars, and you really get the flavor of what these wrappers can do to the flavor of a cigar, and then you can smoke.
That's what I loved about it. You people say you can't taste the two wrappers on the barber poles. I'm like, okay, so you smoke the one cigar, smoke the next cigar, then smoke the barber pole that has the two, and you're going to get three different cigars.
That's very interesting. That's
a
unique way to do that.
I've had a lot of people during the events, and also our cigar shop here, Boatworks Cigars. They were selling them over the holidays as deconstructed packs. You buy a 3-pack, which is what I showed you. And we've had a lot of people, because we do this for all of our blends. And so many folks fell in love and started liking and smoking Candela by doing this. Especially the Candela for the Gringo. They really, really, really fell in love with that Candela, with that Gringo, with our fillers and the binders with the Gringo. So I'm waiting on a shipment of some Toros and such, but we are going to be releasing these deconstructed barber poles very, very soon.
Sweet. So yeah, there it is in a nutshell. So Ryan, you'll have to definitely pick up some of those.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I think
interesting.
I think you'll definitely be blown away. So anybody watching tonight, we got Ryan from the Ryan Miller from the Rocky Mountain Cigar Show. Ryan, give us the cliff notes of who the hell you are.
I live in Colorado. My name is Ryan.
But before you gotta stop because we had Ryan on and we didn't have going to the green room, so we didn't run our intro.
We did.
Hey, I can't be blamed for that one.
I threw everything off.
So before we bring on our guests, we'd like to take a moment to thank all of our show partners for making this show happen each and every week. Thank you, JC Newman Cigars, Cigar Medics, Amendola Cigars, We Are the Muscle, Jake Wyatt Cigars, Illusione Cigars, deep in flavor, deep in your mind. K by Karen Berger Cigars, Corona Cigar, and of course, Drew Estate and Experience Acid. In the Experience Acid Green Room is Ryan Miller of Rocky Mountain Cigar Show, also better known as the guy that did an entire interview with George Rico of Grand Habano Cigars with a booger in his nose. You can't see it. The entire interview, it's just flapping, hanging out there. And, that was
no one helped you, did they?
God, that was so long ago.
So long ago. It might seem like you had one person watching. That was so long ago. Yeah.
Wow, that was a very, very long time ago. No, thank you very much, Kevin, for having me on. Care as always. Thank you as well. And my name's Ryan Miller, coming at you from the Smokin' Studios here at the Rocky Mountain Cigar Show. It's my best impression of Kevin. I can't do the way he does it.
Nobody can. Nobody
can.
No, I started this back during COVID. My show, I was bored, cigar smoker, decided to jump on and have a little bit of fun. Never thought it would remotely take off to really amount to anything. And then lo and behold, here we are, 2.5 years later, 3 years later, something like that. I'm still doing it. So it's been a lot of fun. I've along the way, I've had the privilege to meet you, Kevin, and Care, and a lot of other people in the industry that I look up to, Jessica as well. And it's just been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun, made a lot of really good friends, and rolled it into several different opportunities. So it's been...
look at that wall of money behind you. Just $100 bills stapled to the wall. You know,
Lincoln's.
Yeah. Calm down. Nailing a bunch of quarters up there.
Have you ever asked for a money from Steve? Holy cow!
Steve Saka?
It is tight. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's actually, so and I had mentioned this when we had Abe on the show recently. Steve's he's one of the few guys that we've never taken money from ever. He'll ask, because we do a lot of promotions and a lot of stuff from Dunbarton, but Steve has just become such a good dude, such a good friend over the years. We just, same with Abe. We don't take any money from Abe for advertising Smoke Inn or doing any of the promotions for them. They're good dudes. But if I get that new Dunbarton cutter, it'll be fucking worthwhile, so I'll be hitting up Steve about midweek. So you've interviewed Steve. Who's been your favorite? Who's been your favorite? What's your favorite show?
I honestly, man, as far as viewership wise,
no, the one you had most fun doing. Fuck the viewers.
I say anytime Ish comes on from BAMF, it's always a great time. Bradley Rubin was a fantastic interview. And I have to say, one of my crowning interviews that I did was with Dennis Prager.
Yeah, that was a good interview. Now Jessica's giving me that look. Yeah, I appreciate all of our viewers. Like I said, I don't do this for the I'm inquisitive. I do these shows, and I've said that before. Like I said, I always ask the questions that I personally want to know, or if someone of the viewers, they have questions as well. I love our viewers. They are the best out there.
You just say dumb shit.
Yeah.
You say dumb shit, and I'm with everyone when they say, "What the fuck, Kevin?"
Now, when I said that, I meant because he was about to go in, as in the most viewed videos. I don't care about which videos get the most views, because some of my favorite ones have some of the least favorite. I'm trying to backtrack.
No need, Kevin. Your viewers know you, and they realize you love them. And by saying "fuck the viewers," you were just saying "fuck the numbers." Fuck the numbers. I'm more worried about who is your favorite person, because the viewers are always the reason why we do what we do.
Well, each and one of us have a favorite episode or show that we've done.
What is your favorite been, Jess?
Mine so far has been with Nick Melillo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God! I could have sat there for another 2 hours and just listened to him talk about stuff.
Oh, that one that I did a few weeks ago, that was definitely up there. Nick and I felt we're in a groove, and we had a really, really great discussion.
Yeah. What about you, Care? What's been
it's a tough one, man.
It is.
A lot of really, 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 really good interviews.
That is true too.
I mean, it's hard to pick. I mean, because they were, like you said, there's just some of them where 2 hours go by and it feels like it was 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
We just experienced that the other night. I really enjoyed the interview with Christian Arroyo.
Oh,
That was
a good
that.
one.
That's going to be my second favorite. That
That was
was
one that really kind of stuck with me. I mean, it did. It was good.
that one's definitely my second favorite interview that we've done is Christian. He was such a fantastic guy.
Yeah.
And then I'll go with Jessica, Nick Melillo. You know, I could talk to Nick, you know, for forever.
But yeah, there's so many to name. Like, there's been so many great ones, and some that were surprising that we kind of weren't sure how they would be. And then we were like, holy shit, that was awesome.
Those are the ones that some of the
Yeah.
Ryan, do you get that way? Like, you get nervous. It's like, man, how am I going to fill up an hour and a half or 2 hours? Because you really don't know the person, or there's not a lot of history on them. And then next thing you know, it's 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And Besha Caldwell, Brian, man, that was
a good one.
That was
okay.
That was a great. I love Robert because Robert was kind of like, we didn't know each other back then. Like this was just like, you know, in passing. And then I think during that interview, like Robert and I actually become friends in that interview. And then after that, we've been tight ever since. That was a good.
Well, Kev, I will say what I feared was going to be the most challenging interview. If I didn't talk to you beforehand, it would have been an absolute fucking train wreck. Was the first interview I did with Boofy. When I texted you and was like, I landed Boofy, you're like, all right, call me. And you're like, all right, so I'm going to tell you what nobody will tell you about talking to Boofy. Just roll with it. You don't ask a serious question. If he bypasses it and gives you an answer, play with that answer, bounce off, and have a great time. Literally 2 seconds in, he's talking about blowjobs and reach arounds, and I'm like, all right, well, we're into it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really try and manage that interview or get him back on track. You just go, okay, you're going that way? Sounds good.
Yeah,
I'm following.
You just kind of, you know, it's like your daughter, my 2-year-old, just kind of stumbling forward. You're just moving stuff out of the way.
That's it. You just roll with it, and it's just, you know, you just keep going. Now, do you have a white whale interview, someone and not like he doesn't have to be in the cigar industry. It could be an actor or whoever. Who's your white whale?
That I've interviewed, or
that you want to interview?
I'm working on it. I'm pretty close. Steve Harvey.
Really?
I'm working on it. I've spoken to his assistant a few times, and we've just not been able to line. It could be blowing smoke up my ass or not, but I have his assistant's phone number. We've chatted several times, and I've got a few other people inside the cigar world that know him pretty well as well, that they're working on it. But that would be one white whale for me. And then, of course, there's the always, you know, Schwarzenegger, Stallone. I just don't know that I would have. I don't know how I would do with that interview. I think with Steve Harvey, you would just kind of shut up and just sit back and just hang on for the roller coaster of a ride you're about to go on, and just laughing your ass off. But I don't know. I would say Steve Harvey right now is the white whale I'm working on.
Yeah. What about you, Care? Who would you like to see come on the show? Who, you know, what's your
Ryan? By the way, that assistant of Steve Harvey's, that's Kevin.
Yeah.
One of his burner phones.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, check that Instagram that you're messaging. Yeah,
not messaging Instagram. I actually do have their cell phone number.
Yeah. I mean, the white whale, and even outside the industry, I think it would be like, interviewing Matt Booth, but I would love to interview Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken, that would be awesome.
Oh, that'd be another one that's just like, you know, off the rails, you know.
Is he a cigar guy?
What's that?
Is he a cigar guy?
He smoked some cigars. He did. You know, I think him, or, you know, I would love to interview Jesse the Body Ventura too. I think I think that would be just a freaking.
Get him and Dion on the same interview.
Dion would be like, this guy's crazy. You know, like,
You
yeah,
go,
yeah.
This
Like,
guy's
this
a little
guy's
bit more
got some-
conspiracy than
Yeah,
me.
yeah. You know, me, I'd love Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan,
Yeah.
and then I don't know. I'm assuming maybe he smokes a cigar once a year, but Neil deGrasse Tyson. You know, God, just to pick that man's brain, I got questions.
I'd be
But,
scared to talk to him.
He's able to dumb it down for me. So, but yeah, Joe Rogan for sure.
Yeah, Rogan would be a good one too. That would be.
I can't believe his people haven't. I don't think Joe Rogan knows like really how in depth Nick Melillo is in the cigar industry, and then you go into the Ethiopian culture and that. I think if Joe knew that, like he would have had Nick on the show already. Like how has Nick Melillo not been on Joe Rogan's show? You know,
I mean, because does Joe Rogan really promote that he smokes cigars? Not really.
Yeah, he smokes
Yeah,
Foundation
no, he
cigars.
does.
No,
He
I know-
smokes on the
I-
show.
I know he does, but I'm saying like he's not like this like cigar smoker you see like posting all the time. You know,
No,
it's like
not
it's
all the
like-
time. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Magazine
Nick's-
covers or anything
Nick's-
like that.
Yeah.
Nick's intelligent, more than intelligent enough to talk about a lot of the shit that Joe likes.
I don't think there's a topic Joe could bring up that Nick wouldn't, go toe to toe with.
Thanks, Manny.
So, and speaking of shows, do you watch Oak Island?
I gave up when they never found the freaking hole or the treasure or whatever. It was like every episode was like a guy with a shovel. We got 1 feet deeper. Oh, there's a hole. And it was just one big letdown.
So what was that, episode 2 you gave up? 3?
I think I got through the first season and a half and they found nothing, got nowhere, and I gave up.
Well, I got a surprise for you, Ryan. We're 9 seasons in, and right where you left off is right where they still are.
Fuck, is that show on for 9 seasons?
I don't. It's been longer than that, I think.
I mean,
Good
seriously.
God.
I mean, no offense, Manny. I mean, I know you love the show, but seriously, it's.
I don't know. We all have that one show that other people are like,
Yeah.
why the hell do you want
It's
still
like
watch
9
that?
seasons of watching some guy on the beach with a freaking metal
Whatever.
detector trying
Here's-
to find
People
gold.
watched a whole movie called Castaway.
So
where
here,
they talk to a
here's what I
volleyball.
don't
Yeah, but that's
understand.
Tom Hanks.
Here-
And it had an
Listen,
ending.
don't make fun of Wilson.
Here's what I don't understand about Oak Island, and they've been digging for like 30 or 40 years. This is just the latest TV show. No,
The
they have,
island's gonna capsize.
No, it's
before
like-
too long.
have you seen the island? How have they not just bulldozed the fucking island, like,
Listen, I feel
and
like,
push it into the sea, all the trees,
I feel
and then
like
just start digging this shit
You know what?
up?
You know what they should do? They should do the 18th hole, the Caddyshack scene,
Yeah,
and just bury dynamite everywhere, and to just blow that up.
blow that shit
It just
up. Like this.
Manny's not here to defend himself. That you're
Yeah.
you're not being very fair. You're like ganging up.
So-
on
No, don't get me wrong. I have my guilty pleasure, and I'll go ahead and admit one here, and everyone's gonna make fun of me for it. $1 Million Listing New York.
Oh my gosh.
Guilty pleasure. I've been in sales for 20 years. These guys are playing with $30-40 million penthouses, $10 million. That's all very interesting, but that is my guilty pleasure, and I will finally come to the world and admit it.
All right.
So Manny, it's okay.
Okay.
We all have them.
I used my
Kevin's
favorite
Real
my favorite show I was hooked on, Extreme Makeover Home Edition. I would get my box of tissues, I would watch, and I would bawl like a little girl.
Just so you know, that was before me, folks.
Yeah, that was before
me,
Jessica.
before
But yeah, I
Just
would
hardened you.
cry at the
And
end.
after.
I'd be like ugly crying too.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that
bet.
was,
You cry at the end of that?
Every one of them, every episode, I was in tears.
There's
So-
times where we'll be watching TV and it's not even like that sad, and I'll look over and I can tell you he's like trying not to show me. He's got tears in his eyes. I'm like, you're fucking crying.
Okay.
Them
Or
Okay.
like a Dumb and Dumber crying at the commercials.
The fun, them
They
Publix,
lost focus in commercials.
them Publix commercials during
Oh my
Thanksgiving,
God.
those things will get you choked up. Like if you don't cry at a Publix commercial during
I must
Thanksgiving.
be a
Okay,
freaking
so-
unfeeling
Yeah, me too.
prick,
Have
man.
you all seen A Walk to Remember?
No.
I
I
think
don't remember it.
Old Mandy Moore movie. I was in like,
Does it say Mandy Moore out loud?
yeah. Right.
Okay.
I think it was like it was like junior high or
You see a
beginning of
welcome
high
number?
school, and I'm watching this this movie with my uncle, and he's got his couch just set up like in an L, and I'm on one section, he's on the other. And by the end of the movie, we're both like burying our head into the pillows so the other doesn't see, going, "Oh my God, she got married before she died." Didn't mean to spoil that for anybody that didn't see a 30-year-old.
Thanks,
movie.
Ryan. Yeah.
I need to see it now.
Karen,
Yeah.
what is like your guilty pleasure for TV?
He's gonna say Rambo. cried at the end.
My guilty pleasure for TV. What is my guilty pleasure for TV, Jen? Well, no, guilty pleasure that I watch a lot of alien shit.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ancient Aliens.
Yeah, I watch all that crazy nonsense.
No,
and
but
stuff,
that's education. We're talking like just like stupid, like guilty shit that you didn't necessarily bring up in a water cooler.
You know
That's
what?
something you could bring up in a water cooler.
besides porn. I mean, I
But
mean,
it's funny that he said it's educational. They're talking about aliens that they don't know if they exist or not.
well, they're
How is that
educating me on that.
education? They have no proof of anything.
No, that's really that's the one thing, Ryan, that I do like. You know, I watch series and
That's
movies and shit like that, and if I want to brain fade out, I'll just watch a stupid movie. But the one thing I do get a little bit hooked on is the alien stuff and my tearjerker movie. Yeah, it is. It's Field of Dreams.
Yes.
When
That's
he's
a rough.
having a conversation with his dad, and he says,
Yeah.
"Dad, you want to go catch?" Every time.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, when it was on TV, it would cut to a commercial at that moment, and it would I feel like somebody jerked the emotion out of me and threw it away, and then they changed it where they don't do that anymore. But that's the part that gets me every time. Is that Dad, you want to catch? I cry every single time.
Oh, without a doubt.
Every time.
Same here. So, all right, we're going to pivot a little bit. A topic we're going to talk about, having your significant other smoking cigars. Ryan, your wife started smoking cigars. His fiance, started smoking cigars recently.
Jennifer's sitting right here in the in the Stogie Road Cigar Lounge, smoking a cigar.
So, and then Jessica has been smoking with me for a number of years now. So, and then she had smoked prior to me because she gave me that look. Like
That's because you said she's smoking with you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. Kevin would like to take credit for most things, so it's all right.
So Ryan, how'd you get Ari into smoking cigars?
Yeah, so Ari and I were cigarette smokers for a very, very, very long time, and decided that we were going to quit. And I wanted to go back to cigars, so I went and bought some shitty Black and Milds and smoked one and said, "The hell with this! I'm going to the shop." And I went and I'm like, "I'm just gonna go buy one cigar." Came back with like 6. And tried for several months. And then one day she had a few drinks and she looked at me and she goes, "Let me try it." And I was like, "What? The cigar or the drink?" And she's like, "The cigar." So boom, it was right there. She goes, "I actually really like this." And then we started her out with some of the not Corona, but what are the tiny teeth?
Sometimes they call them petite Corona. Sometimes
like the
sometimes
tiny
cigarillos.
Cigarillos, yes.
Yeah. What are you gonna say, Jess?
Nothing. I will not say a word. Kevin's got it.
What
on top of it all.
What were you gonna
Don't
say?
forget it.
She works in a lounge.
Cornets.
Thank you. That's what I was about to say. But Kevin thinks he knows it all, so he was, just gonna keep yelling things until he got it right.
I am the John. I am the John. What is that mentalist that just keeps saying things until he gets something right? I'm getting the letter B, R, B, A, B, A, B. What is that guy? John something.
I know you're talking about the psychic.
The so-called cold reader. Yeah,
you had a family member die, a relative, near you. Somebody.
Oh my God. So, all right.
yeah, no, she started out with the coronets, and then kind of started out with the heavier ones, and then she moved into Connecticut's, and then within, I don't know, a couple weeks, she looks at me and she goes, "This is kind of losing all of its flavor," and then jumped her straight into the Espinosas and all the heavy stuff, and then last week I gave her the hair of the dog, and she looks at it and she goes, "Oh, it's a Connecticut." I'm like, just give it a chance. And she goes, "Wow, this is really good." I said, "It's not too strong." She goes, "No." And I'm like, "I don't think there's anything you can't smoke then."
Awesome.
So she now will just go in the humidor and grab. But what's great about it is when she likes something that I like, it means I get to get two.
That's true.
Yeah, but
when she has something
you always still
that
get
I
the
like,
you still only get the one because she smokes it.
No, because if I'm out, I'll take. The only thing I can't do is ever, if I touch her Brulee Blues, there's divorce papers coming my way. I mean, she will literally flip, and I get it. That is her hands down favorite cigar, period. And then she is obsessed with Micallef. Absolutely obsessed with Micallef. So
nice.
Yeah, right on.
Great.
Care, when was the it's been a while now. I mean, a few months. What has Jen been smoking? 6 months now?
Yeah, she wanted to and I think Jessica was a big influence on Jen smoking. And then Jen wanted to, spend some time with me, smoking some cigars. And when did you start smoking? January 2nd. So she wanted.
Of course, she knows the day.
11:30 p.m.
Literally, you're the same person.
Yeah,
and it's she wanted to surprise you guys for one of the bully shows and light up a cigar.
Yeah,
I want to surprise Jessica. See, Jessica, I'm giving you some love here with the influence.
Yeah,
no, I love. Thank you
so much. And then Jen's been she's been pushing
January 2nd, 11:30 p.m.
Yeah. But Jen has been smoking some heavy cigars as well.
She jumped right to wanting the heavy stuff. She'd sit there and smoke and be like, I don't taste anything in this. I'm like, this is really flavorful.
Well,
now she does some of she likes the Deadwood series, loves the Deadwood series, but just went right from that to kind of like Jessica's palate, where it's like, I like this. It's really flavorful.
Yeah.
I'm not getting a lot of pepper on it. I'm going.
Yeah. Jen's huge coffee drinker.
Yeah, we both are.
Yeah.
Now, does Jen retrohale? My wife does not retrohale.
No.
Yeah,
you don't retrohale, do you?
It's because they're smart.
No.
But I think that allows somebody to smoke a stronger cigar if you don't retrohale, because you're not getting all of the bluntness of that cigar.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, you're getting all the flavor of the cigar, but you're not
Correct,
getting
but
you're not getting the burny through your nose, which
Correct.
nobody needs.
First off,
But I love that.
I retro all the time.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You're just weak, Kevin.
Yeah. So
I do
little retros. I've tried. I see the big retros and stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like Kevin. That'll burn my eye sockets out and my nose hairs.
Yeah, but did you ever notice what they're retroing when they do those big, huge retros? They're not retroing some major powerhouse pepper sticks though. It's all for like.
I'm just saying in general though. Whatever I smoke, I will retro a little bit, but I do it and I kind of dabble with it so I do get more flavors. But once I get the flavors, I'm like, oh, okay, and I'll keep doing it every little bit at a time. But once I go into a full retro, I just might as well just stick my head in a freaking oven. Yeah.
This is where maybe it's a little different for me as a past cigarette smoker.
Yeah.
I don't get that like sock to the nose that a lot of people say they get.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that when you smoke for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, you've definitely desensitized, your naval cavity, so, but that does make sense. But, and I'm seeing that with women getting into the cigar industry now I haven't been in the cigar industry that long, 7 years, really 6-7 years, as in like dive deep. And back then when I first started, like women only, from what I saw on social media, women only smoked acids and flavored cigars. And that's how they got into cigars. And then maybe after a long time, they would graduate to a premium cigar. But now women are they're right into it. They're smoking what their significant other is smoking. And
but
what
I want to know is what's the difference between a brand new woman cigar smoker and a brand new male cigar smoker? Not a goddamn motherfucking thing. Why do people always say women should start with a
no, they shouldn't
care. Should we let mommy and daddy fight?
Yeah.
Go.
So the difference between a new male cigar smoker and a woman cigar smoker is a new male cigar smoker will be hanging out with other males smoking traditional premium cigars. And what I have found, women cigar smokers that I have personally interacted with, so I don't just get lambasted, is the significant other of a male who thinks that's what a woman should smoke. That's the difference. Is a man making that decision. You're a woman. You're weaker. We're going to start you off with something flavored, and then if you behave, then we'll get you into something more previous.
Okay, so Kevin, it sounds like you're talking about the male ordering for the female at a restaurant, that type of mentality.
Yes.
So I did that with my wife. My wife did not want anything to do with a flavored cigar. The only thing I did was start her off with something a little bit milder, medium to mild when she got into the Robusto size. And then the second she looked at me and goes, I can't taste it anymore, or I'm not getting much, bam, I went in and gave her one of the stronger cigars I have in the humidor, and that set her off. So I never tried specifically to curtail my wife down the avenue. For one, you guys both know Ari. There's really no getting Ari to do anything she doesn't want to do.
Right.
All I can do is go, this is good. This is okay. I think you would like this. I don't think you would like this. And she's actually started when I said, I don't think you will like this. She goes, give me it. And I'm like, okay. And she goes, I love it. I said, all right, at this point in time, don't ask me for a cigar. Just go in the humidor and grab whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, so Jessica was smoking a little bit more of the infused because I was really I was smoking a lot more back then. Like I was smoking.
Yeah, you're a huge infused.
I was smoking, Cuba dozens a week, or the acid line. So that was, I always had the smaller ones, the cornets and everything. So she got in.
You know that word now. Sorry, go ahead. I had to. That was perfect.
Wow. Zinger.
Whoa.
That needs to be a soundbite, Kevin. That's what to be going back through this and take that moment out.
Yeah.
You got zinged.
Oh my God. So moving on. Jennifer says she's more partial to the regarding ring gauge.
Yeah.
What about Ari? As in ring gauges go.
Ari is probably in the 55, would maybe 60, although I don't know that I've given her a 60 outside of like a nub. Yeah, I would say 60 if she's had a full size Gordo. It's only been once. She loves the Coronas, the Panatellas, the Lanceros, that type of stuff.
I know Jessica's a kid. A lot of times she doesn't have time, so I know.
I love Corona.
Yeah, that's it. The Lancero, or not the Lancero. I'm not a Lancero guy. The Lancero and the Lonsdales. Care has the Lancero in his line. I like that size. I think it's a good size.
Yeah.
I like the Lonsdales as well. I
like those.
Become a little bit more partial to them, but for me, also majority Robusto Toro.
Well, Kevin, when are you doing the review on the 10x100 JFR? It was just released.
I don't have time for that shit. I would like to smoke it, but
why?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, why? Because it's just, I'll buy one, but especially since we're building the new walk-in humidor, just to have it always in there. Just to have it on display so people can see it, and by people, I mean the few people that ever come over, and go into the humidor. So,
well, what is it? I saw someone post on Smoking Social the Woody, which is 120 by 24, 2 days before. 2 days before 4th of July, and he's like, I'm kicking my 4th of July off early. And then on the day of the 4th of July, he posted, finally at the band.
Yeah. Well, did you see the PCA, a shorty, Pitbull Rossi? He was smoking with Christian. He was smoking that new one. And shorties was short, and then so he's got the small hands and he's got this giant cigar, and it looks pretty. If you just...
It was funny.
It was funny because you couldn't tell if Christian wasn't next to him. You'd be like, I don't know how big that cigar is. Is that a Robusto?
Yeah.
He's a little man. Is it a big cigar? I don't know.
I love that photo though. It was cool. They were laughing. It was funny.
That's it. So the cons. What is the cons of having your significant other smoking cigars with you?
She'll take the last one, even though it hasn't happened yet. That is a fear. Or she goes and takes one of the section of cigars that like I am saving for whatever reason. I'm saving them. Outside of that, I really don't think there's a con. My wife and I have had some of the best conversations, some of the best experiences with each other, and just overall amazing one-on-one time having a cigar. I don't know what to say differently, but when she started smoking cigars with me, we've had some of the best conversations of our entire 13 years of being together. It is amazing.
Now one con that does come up when people talk about their significant other smoking is the cost. People are like, oh, you want your wife to smoke? Do you want to double your cigar budget? That's always the big one. But after a while, I know with Jessica, she just buys her own.
I've been buying my own.
Yeah, she has her own humidor, her own cigars, and I know for a while.
I'm lucky. I'm just the luckiest lady on the planet. I have my own humidor. You sound
Tammy got himself a girl humidor for you, Jessica.
I know. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Coming to you live next week from the couch, Kevin. At that cigar show.
Yeah, I got AC in the lounge, baby. I don't have a couch out there yet. But
hey, everyone, that's why the lounge is taking so long. Yeah. Jessica's made him build another bedroom addition.
Inflatable bed.
Honestly, I have said that to him. I'm like, good, get the fuck out so I can have my room back.
Yeah.
I haven't had my room for 2 years. It's been with all of Kevin's hoarder tendencies. Collector.
Imagine your bedroom and you've got, I don't know, 8 desktop humidors, 30 Tupper doors, stand-up cabinets all surrounding your bed. Now, for us three, that's amazing. For the ladies, not so much,
Well, I mean, because I want nicer things than that. I mean, there's more to life than just cigars. Sorry, I'm going to say it. There's other things that I want in life that doesn't revolve around cigars. I guess, apparently. But he can go out there all he wants. That's fine.
What is a con of having your significant other, Jennifer?
Jen's within rock throwing distance from me, Kevin. She's right in front of me.
My wife's up a mountain, so it's fine.
Rock throwing distance. That's hilarious.
What's the con of smoking with your significant other? Yes, you do. She talks too much. I mean, there's just sometimes I just want to have a cup of coffee and a cigar and just enjoy the quiet. And then, Jen gets heavily involved in conversation about the cigar and other things. I'm just like, okay. Very few times, as you said, Ryan, there's nothing like seeing your significant other light up that Halloween cigar in June.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a Halloween cigar. Yeah, I'm fucking aware of it.
Yeah.
I'm well aware of it.
It says OX on it. What is Opus X? Oh, is it okay that I lit this? It was the last one.
It looked pretty.
The cigar was it the Knuckle Buster from the other night, Kevin? that we're looking for? The one that
Oh,
we
yeah.
did the interview?
Yeah.
Found it.
Oh yeah, you found the band?
Found the band.
Wait, what were you looking
For the Shafio, the knuckle buster or the knuckle bloody knuckle or something.
Bloody knuckle, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
this box, this says Dunbarton on it, and it's in its own coffin. Oh, it says unicorn. I love unicorns.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's sparkly rainbows in there.
And it's small, so it probably didn't cost that much. You know,
I gave Jennifer the unicorn from the Christmas for Mother's Day.
Oh, nice.
Oh, did you get the unicorn or the horn of the dead unicorn?
The horn of the dead unicorn, whatever the fuck it is. It's whatever.
It's a lot.
That's actually the most rare one. Yeah,
she smoked a quarter of it. Was like, here, I don't like it. On Mother's Day.
Oh my god!
Everybody died silently.
I forgot about that reason. That con.
I've never smoked a unicorn.
The pro was I got to smoke the rest of it though.
I've never smoked the unicorn, but I've smoked the chubby unicorn from last year's advent calendar. I loved it. I do have a cap on cigars. I have a dollar value to where I don't feel I actually get a better cigar above, and that's about $25.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that high, 25. Because mine's a hell of a lot fucking lower than that.
Well, 25 is where like I have Namakubi.
Yeah,
and it's 25. It's 22.50. I have one in my humidor.
Yeah,
I have a rare Padron that somebody gave me. It's like $30. I don't, maybe once or twice a year, you will ever find me spending over 20. The Olmec was probably the last one that I spent over 20
but I'm
on.
going to tell you right now, a lot of the cigar prices are going to go up. They're going up now.
The Olmec's not over $20, is it?
No. In my state, it is.
Oh yeah.
No,
in Colorado,
in Colorado,
it's like $20.50 or something like that.
Oh shit.
Yeah. For me, it's there better be a damn good reason that cigar is over $17. And from what Care will know, because we're so like entrenched in the cigar, not as deep as like a Saka, but we know a lot. We know a lot that the average person does not know about the cigar community or the cigar world. And $17, it's not that much more. It's just ends up being fucking marketing after that. There are some cigars like Steve Saka, the unicorn, $100. He breaks down exactly. He breaks down the price and everything. Goes, this is what it is. This is what it costs me, and this is how it gets to $100.
Well, I still wouldn't pay that. I mean, it's a good cigar. It's a great cigar, but the only cigars that I've purchased that I really never had an issue with when it comes to, like you said, Kevin, around that $17 to $20 range, has been Saka cigars. They're usually going to be up in the teens. I have no problem with paying those cigars.
Same here.
And I had,
but you know the story. You know what you're getting. So,
you know what you're getting. You definitely know what you're getting. And the Room 101 cigars. Some that are a little bit more pricier, the higher teens. When I smoke them, they're worth it.
Yes, and you understand. So when you look at the new Namakubi, and you look at that box, you look at how many were made, you look at how detailed the box is, so there's a lot that added to the price of that cigar.
But that person also has a history leading up to a cigar to be able to justify a good cigar. So if someone is just making crap cigars and then, or they are whatever, and then, or they're going to release their first cigar is going to be a $20 cigar, it's going to raise a little bit of eyebrows. But someone who's Saka, who has a long-standing history, Arroyo, long-standing history, Matt Booth, when you do get that cigar that's going to be a little bit more, that they have the pedigree behind them that is going to justify it more so than the boxes and the rarity and stuff. It's just that it's going to be great tobacco, it's going to be a great cigar. And I can tell you his last couple of cigars that Jen and I have been smoking from Room 101 have just been out of this fucking world. The only one that I kind of thought was a little bit overpriced was, which one was that, Jen, with the purple wrap around it? The big purple full length cigar.
I know we got the ashtray.
Oh my gosh!
It
Is
wasn't.
that the Namakubi?
No.
Mm-mm.
It's like it's similar. I'm trying to think with that name. Not.
But that was the only one that I was a little
Yeah.
disappointed in. But it wasn't a bad cigar. It didn't great construction. Just the flavor was not there. Like his Farce Nicaraguan with the light blue
Amazing.
band.
Yeah.
Jennifer and I were like, we were fucking wrestling over the last one.
Yeah.
Like it is that good.
Yep.
You smoke a cigar, you're like that. You're like, man, why am I even trying to make
Okay.
cigars? Like,
Okay.
what the hell am I doing here?
Since we're on Matt Booth, I'm just gonna. And Kevin was there for this. Give me 2 shakes of the lamp.
But yeah,
He's gone. It's like that.
Yeah, when it comes to, like I said, those I don't know, $25, $30 cigars, those it's just like, God, like why, and I don't understand. Like I'm not an Opus X guy. I don't know the story, the history, the tobacco, and everything else. But I look at like they've made like millions of them, and how are they still $30? But with me, that being said, I don't know what goes into
That's
cigar.
aged tobacco.
So there's stuff I don't know.
They're the best. If that's like you said, I know you're not a big Opus X and Dominican tobacco fan. So something like that for you, even though you may know the history behind it, you may know the provenance and the pedigree behind it and the aged tobacco, it's just not going to be in your wheelhouse, so it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I grabbed this. The first time I met Matt Booth was at TGS this last year. Kevin was actually helping him move all the cigars off the table. And I think Kevin single-handedly sold 90% of the cigars on that table.
I did, yeah.
So I'm sitting there and I'm holding this box and I'm like, oh, Matt, will you sign it? And so he goes, let me tell you about the first time I ever signed a box for someone. I'm like, all right. So he goes, this kid totally, the only time he ever bought a box, or the first time he bought a box, was this box. He saw me at an event long time ago and he came up, he goes, will you sign my box? So he goes, I took it back and I took my marker and I drew all over it. And I came back and gave it to him. He opened it up and it was covered in dicks. He goes, the look on his face for spending whatever he spent on that box for me to draw dicks all over it was priceless. He goes, I think I just destroyed this kid's world for that day. And so he's sitting there looking at me and he's looking at the box. He's looking at me. I said, okay, go ahead, draw dick. So he goes and he draws a cock and balls with a heart through it.
But that's like having a dick drawing from Michelangelo.
Oh, no, it's never going anywhere.
Yeah.
That kid, it may have destroyed his world at that moment, but now it's like, where's that box with the dicks all over it?
Yeah, I know. Mom, why'd you throw that out? It's worth a fortune.
It's over here, honey. It's holding all of our extra sponges.
But when you hear Matt tell it, he goes, I covered that whole box with dicks.
So, but it's for me, like I said, I'm not on the regular spending. I mean, I'm not on the regular spending more than $12 to $15. I mean, on a cigar, because I just don't care anymore. Like when I go out, I'm buying the same shit I always smoke anyways. Especially if it's a new cigar. Like some of these boutique cigar companies, man, I don't know what it's been lately. Everybody's coming to PCA, which we'll get about in a minute, TPE, and they're launching their first cigar that we got our first 3 blends. They're $18 a piece, and I'm like, God, you're a brand new company, and that's what it's just mind boggling. And I know, and I forget who we talked to, Care, and it was like it is last year sometime, and it was during COVID that they were saying that there was such a high demand for premium high price cigars that people were just putting $20 and $25 price tags on cigars, and they couldn't keep them in stock. People were just buying them. And I don't know if maybe some of the boutique gals saw that and be like, oh, hey, I can offer a cigar for, $18, $20. And it's just like.
Well, what's crazy about that is that you dug yourself a hole earlier, Kevin, and you still have yet to answer the question of what's the con of smoking with your spouse.
So at the there's no con now. Jessica's just
At the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, she's just, I mean, there's no con to it now. And it was, I was like Ryan said, did she touch my special drawer?
I did not ever do
the
that.
one at the top.
You guys still argue over that, though. She still says you hide your cigars from her. Every time she goes in the humidor, Kevin will yell from like in the 3 rooms away, "What are you getting?"
But I have never smoked.
No.
Like,
I think the funniest time ever moment was I forget what it was. I was at work. I was somewhere. Jess was here, and I like called her, and she picked up, and I'm like, "Hey, what are you doing?" She goes, "Do you know that I'm in the humidor right now?"
Yeah.
And she, how, like look like for cameras, like I was calling. So what are you doing?
No, because you had like I don't know this like I would just open it. He would be like, "What are you doing?"
It's the dad when someone touches the thermostat. It's the dad thing. It's like someone opened up the humidor. I need to know. I need to know what it is.
Yeah, but I have never gone into
the
humidor and ever taken a cigar without like at least even just saying something to you.
Yeah, no.
Like when it was your cigar.
Yeah, now the pro is I get to try cigars that I don't buy.
Well, I just brought home a bunch of cigars
for
you to try.
Yeah, she brought some cigars home from Corona. She gets the boutique cigars, so that's definitely a pro for me because I try more new cigars because of Jessica. Because if not, I don't.
She's your tobacco mama.
Yeah.
Well,
now Kevin gets a doggy bag.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, there's a company I really want Kevin to look into.
Yeah.
I just thought it was really cool. I had never heard of them, and we sell them at Corona. And so I brought
it's a company called Guns 2A Gars, and I don't know. It's 2A. Let's see, Guns and Gars, Second Amendment, Barber Second Amendment. So Guns and Gars. I don't know. Is Guns and Gars if it's that place that has the shooting, where you can go and shoot shit and I don't know. Guns and Gars.
Is that the one? The guy? Are they the ones who do all the go to all the gun shows and?
I think they're the ones that where you can go and rent like military vehicles and fire them and stuff. I'll have to look them up a little bit more deeply.
Yeah.
But she brought these home. So yeah, it's probably a cigar that like a lot of the boutiques that I just wouldn't pick up because they're not like I'm just not into.
They're at Corona.
Yeah, coronacigar.com. Yeah. Yeah, the 2A Second Amendment cigars. So, but yeah, that's my pro. I really don't have any cons anymore because now she has
Millennial, and we'll have to check that out. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely have to check it out. I mentioned PCA, so all of us are here, not at PCA. Why are we not at PCA? Ryan, why are you not at PCA?
Dude, it's a massive expense. I don't like the fact that PCA charges media $600 a year or $400 a year, whatever it is, just to be part of a once a year show that costs roughly $1,500 to $2,000 just to attend, with tickets or gas driving, depending on where you live. If you're Tim Long, he drove there. I would probably drive there because it's only 12 hours. But it is a massive expense. And in my opinion, I think the PCA should be giving media free passes. Now, that doesn't mean, I'm Cigar Media. I have a show once a month that I barely ever actually do, but I have in the past. I'm not talking about that. Vet the media, fine. I don't have a problem with that. But don't charge us to come and promote your event. That's not saying I won't go. That's just my personal issue with it.
So for me, the money has nothing to do with it. As in the money, spending the money. It's the return on that investment.
Yeah, like but spending the money is the return.
So I get nothing back.
That's what I mean. You have to have an ROI.
Yeah, I put everything out. I promote the PCA. I promote these cigar makers. I promote this.
It's all upside.
Now, if I'm a dojo, a coop, a half wheel, those guys have huge blogs. Huge. People come to those blogs in droves. They want to see that coverage so that they can in turn use those analytics to charge, for advertising on their website. I understand that's an ROI. They can physically see the return on their investment, so for some of the smaller guys, that return is it's nil. It is absolutely nothing. Care as a cigar media guy and a cigar manufacturer, why are you not there?
It's the same thing. I mean, there's in order to go as a cigar manufacturer maker, you not only have to be able to have the out-of-pocket expense to go, whatever booth you want to get and so on and so forth, but then you also have to make sure that you have inventory for samples, inventory for orders,
free samples,
free.
Right.
Well, then, but I'm saying if you say, okay, great, I'm going to go to PCA and I'm going to have 5,000 cigars for samples. I'm just arbitrarily throwing numbers out. And I hope to get XYZ. So you got to kind of figure out what my cost is and what I need to sell in order for it to even break even, right? Just to break even and for it to make sense. You have to have that inventory available and ready to go because, you're not someone who can say, hey, you want to take an order? Yeah, well, we'll get it to you in 6 months. You're boutique, you're small, you want to get it out immediately and get, people to start, selling that cigar a couple weeks after they get back from the PCA. You're not some big name that could say, well, we're on back order. It's going to take a little bit of time. And then you go into the cigar shop 3-4 months after PCA and they still don't have their order. Correct. And they're complaining about their order. You want to be that cigar shop, that company that's going to be that cigar company that's going to be in the humidor, taking the customers that those other organizations that couldn't fill their order. So it's a lot. It's a big investment. And there has to be, like I said, it has to be really orchestrated. I've heard a couple different stories from smaller companies that it could really, by just wanting to be there, and I think dealing with the ego of going to it as a cigar manufacturer or a cigar maker, it could kill your business. So you're going to let your ego of actually attending kill your business. There's other folks that have some disposable income and can go, but they always talk about every year they lose money, and they're not getting the real traction from it. So there's a couple of reasons right there, off the top of my head that I think are reasons why I wouldn't be able to go just as me. Now, I know they have the new Boutique Cigar Association Pavilion this year, which I think is a great idea. And I think it makes sense for those boutique companies to be able to come under one roof and be a part of it. But again, it's still a mighty hefty expense.
No, it is. And in fact, Ish from BAMF and Abe in separate conversations really kind of laid it out in an avenue that I never even thought of, that I have to take into my own company that we started, where it's like, all right, it's $3,000 for a booth. That's your starting expense.
Yeah.
And then there's the hotel, there's the plane, and that's still your starting expense.
Your food.
Then there's the setup, the food, and then that's still your starting expense, because then you have to have the inventory to give out free cigars. That it's not like PCA is giving you money for the cigars you're giving out, or they're allowing you to deduct that. So he goes, both Abe and Ish separately are like, it's $20,000 minimum like this to go to an event. And that's on the low side. That's with a group of 4 people.
Yeah, I think Saka, if I'm not mistaken, it was like $80,000 last year for his like booth setup. And then a lot of these companies, which a lot of people don't know, they store their booth, they pack everything in crates, and they store it, like down the street, like a big all year. So every month they're paying that fee to store their booths every single month. Then coming back in now, Smoking Millennial, the TPE is not like that. So the TPE, and I don't know if it's all media, if it's vetted media.
It's vetted media.
Yeah,
it's
so like we get in. So as Cigar Prop, we'd get in at no charge, and then they do offer like some hotel, like your first night's free. Like they take care of it, and then you get some kickback, so you're not expending all of this money, to come out. So I sat in the Sinistro booth last year, and it was like midday. I was on crutches at PCA. My knee was on fire. James got me something to rest my leg up on, got me a drink, a cigar, and then I sat and watched him kind of how he worked, and talked with the lounge owners that wanted to come by. And then, like I said, they got like a bag of like 10, 12 cigars of Sinistro. Hey, here's, some cigars and, give us a try. Here's some info, whatever. And that was like one after another. And I'm like, holy crap. If you get a couple hundred, you could be 5,000 cigars deep.
Oh yeah.
Right
say they're $3 a stick.
Yeah.
That you pay.
Yeah.
Like it, not only the 12 cigars you just gave out are box that you probably charge $200 for, or 160, 150 for, but you're giving them away for nothing. And I personally think that the PCA, Jennifer makes an incredibly great comment there. It's not meant for the little guy. It's only meant for the little guy if they can absorb the loss. Because exactly what Care said over here, it will completely bankrupt your business if you don't do it the right way.
Right. Or you're going to have fuck you money or, whatever. But I mean,
or bring a $10 million fucking ashtray.
Oh, there's that. But I mean, you figure 5,000 cigars in 20 count boxes. That's 250 boxes at $4 a piece. That's $20,000 right there. So if you really want to just say, okay, I'm going to bring 5,000 cigars to the show to give out, that's $20,000 of inventory right off the bat at $4 a cigar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just to give away. To give away.
Yeah,
right?
and then like you said, then you have everything else on top of it.
So let's just say that you get 100 new orders, right? 100 new orders. Great, this is awesome. And each one orders, let's just say, I don't know, if you go to minute when it makes sense, just say, okay, I'll order you guys 5 boxes, or like for me, if I got 4 blends, you want to do, each blend two boxes deep. That's 6 boxes. That's 600 boxes of cigars. Right there is having a 12. Then you need 12,000 cigars on top of the 5,000 that you're bringing in for free to fill the orders, and that's just the new orders that you're filling.
If you fill any,
and that's $48,000 worth of cigars just to be able to have on standing inventory to fill those, not including your current purchasers, your current clients. So right there you need about $68,000 worth of cigars if you plan on giving away 5,000 cigars and then maybe hopefully getting 100 orders. Again, 100 orders is aggressive, but it's at least you got to start somewhere and then scale it.
Yeah, and then would you have broken even on the show with those 100 orders? You're still in the hole.
Well, that's where, okay, so you're like, okay, well, if I'm at this amount, what do I got to sell to break even? And you're like, well, what does break even look like? Because when they order something from me, I still have an overhead. It's still going to cost.
Yeah. Well, let's look at it differently too, though, because just because you got the initial order, Care, you could attest to this. It's not the initial order that makes you any money. It's the reorders.
Yeah.
So if you got just that initial order and all they did was cost you $60,000 to get 100 initial orders with very little, say 20% reorders, the ROI on that just doesn't make sense.
You know, and by the
Now
time
you got to hit the road, and then you got to start meeting up with these shops and these folks in order to, that's the other thing too.
Yes, you just grew your territory.
But then it comes back around. So maybe your cigars take off, and then maybe by the time the next PCA comes around, maybe they're in the third, reorder. So now you're starting to see a little bit of profit, and then bam, you got to start over again.
You won't see the profit that you see. All you're doing is just getting more cigars made.
Yeah.
Yes. You're 100% right, Gray Wolf. It's about 4 to 5 orders.
Yeah.
So when I sold cell phones and when I sold DirecTV, long ass time ago, DirecTV makes like 2 months of profit off of a 12-month agreement. That's it. 2 months of profit off a 12-month agreement because they give you the equipment for free. That's essentially the way to look at what the PCA is. You're upfronting a huge expense with hopes that somebody will stick with you long enough for you to make that money back.
Yeah,
and it is a big gamble.
Yeah, back when I was with Walmart, looking at like earnings and things like that with the corporate level guys, talking about Sam's Club. They don't make any money on food. They only make money on member. This was 15 years ago. It could be different now. Memberships, that was the profit. That was the profit of Sam's Club. Everything else ran the business. So it was just the memberships.
Got the lights on.
That's where the profit came from, was just the memberships.
Old school. Back when I was working at Circuit City.
Yeah. That's it. Back when Ryan was selling his flip phones,
DirecTV. Does that come with TiVo?
That's it. But I love TiVo. TiVo is and it's still to this day the best DVR out there.
But we're talking about smaller companies, and that's the thing is, like Ryan says, you just expanded your footprint. Now you either have to get brokers or yourself out there making those calls, and that's one of the reasons why I still am in a couple of different states, and shops and stuff, because I'm close with those folks. But my footprint is local. I want to be able to get in a car and drive to the cigar shop and do an event, visit, hang out, do whatever. We were just at a new cigar shop. When was that, Jennifer? This weekend, right? Yeah, a new cigar shop that's opening up downtown Greenville. Super great guy. Probably going to be open up in about a month. Gave him some samples. They're really making their headway, and he started talking to me about what cigar shops we're in, and started talking about it. I was like, listen, I can't get in a plane and fly out to Washington or Illinois or whatever. I want to be able to stay local. I'd rather be a brand that's in our local shops, and let's say a big fish in a little pond. I just want to be a fish in this local pond, and then just allow any type of growth to happen naturally. And then as that growth happens naturally, then you can take on brokers or sales folks. I mean, Kevin, it too. I've been approached by a lot of people. A lot of folks are, hey, can I sell your cigars? Hey, can I be an ambassador? Whatever new term is being used right now. And it's like, yeah, but it lasts about as far as you can spit, because,
absolutely.
It's like, who else can I be a new broker for? Who else can I be a new ambassador for? Because then they're like, well, send me some cigars, send me some cigars, send me some cigars. And you're like, well, you just got a whole bunch of free cigars, but you really didn't do anything.
Absolutely. And in talking with a lot of other people in the industry, every single area has an expense. And usually a territory has to return 5x what they pay the full-time sales associate to sell in that location, because there's insurance for that employee. What most people don't understand about running your own business is, you hire somebody at $15 an hour, but in reality, you're paying around $30, $35 an hour.
Yeah.
And that's what nobody actually understands about business. They see their paycheck. They don't see the taxes coming out. They don't see what the taxes the business owner is doing. So when you expand your territory, you either have to go or you have to hire somebody. And in order for you to hire somebody, most territories require roughly around $250,000 to $500,000 a year in business.
And that's where you get, like, brokers make sense, because especially the good ones, right? Because they work off of the percentages and profits and they're incentivized to sell more, et cetera, et cetera. But then you're also kind of needing to deal with a portfolio of cigars, of other products, and yours just may get shifted to the bottom if they're carrying a bunch of other, well-known brands. So that's where, that would be the benefit of going to a PCA and growing it, is meeting with some folks to be able to introduce your product into their portfolio. But that's where folks like me, when you do have friends or people want to be brand ambassadors in markets, you're like, listen, I'd love to have somebody in a market and get me in a couple cigar shops and I'll give you cigars. But when you go in and you're like, hey, yeah, I met with the owner, here's their name and number, and I gave him some of your cigars, I could have my dad do that. I could have, saying it's like there has to be a little bit more of an oomph to it, and that's where you don't get that with that type of business model, if it is a business model.
Exactly. People just don't see what it takes to run a business.
They don't.
It's crazy. And let's go on the PCA. We touched briefly on what it costs to go out there, and then for a manufacturer, and then we talked about on the media. So this year, I was just talking to Jessica at dinner about this. I don't think I've ever seen as many consumers that have weaseled their way into the show this year, and brand ambassadors, media people that aren't getting their own badges. It's been irritating to see that this year is all the media guys that don't have their own badge. Now there are some media guys, Cigar Show Tim Long, he's a media guy, but he's also a brand ambassador, and he works diligently. What is the cigar, Ryan?
Founders.
He does, and then he actually last year when I was there, he was working the booth. He was helping them out. So I understand that is a he gets to go on with a founder's badge, completely acceptable. If you're a brand ambassador for Founders, Drew Estate, whatever, yeah, you get that's your essential job. But there are some media people out there, big media people out there that are going under manufacturers' badges.
Well, you caught some shit.
I don't have a problem with that.
You caught some shit from doing that, Kevin.
I caught some shit last year for almost doing it, but I'm glad that I ended up getting my own badge, said media, said my name on it. People knew who I was when I went up and started, talking to people. Oh, you're media. And then not like, so I have a badge that says whatever on it from whatever manufacturer. Hey, can I get like an interview with you? And then, you're looking at their badge like, well, wait, what? You're from this, you're from my competitor. Why would I do an interview with you? Doesn't that delegitimize what you do as a media personality by having a manufacturer or having a badge other than something that says media?
No. And here's why. I feel if Micallef wanted to sponsor me for the event, now, do I think my badge should say Micallef Cigars on it? Maybe something different. Maybe, media sponsored by Micallef Cigars. I don't have a problem with the manufacturer giving out a badge that they pay for somebody to use it however they want. Now, if there's rules and regulations, which I know there is, around that, manufacturers can get dinged or kicked out or banished or whatever. I've heard stories. I think that is wrong, because that is the PCA trying to milk every dollar out of the people promoting the PCA. Now, if you don't have a brand willing to give you a badge, fine, buy your own badge. But if I have a brand saying, hey, I'll pay your expenses to go, you're going to do media, and it's going to all be tagged powered by Micallef Cigars or powered by Big Sky or powered by Dunbarton Tobacco Trust, and they pay for, I think that's completely fine. I do believe that there should be a differentiation on the badge that says media paid for or sponsored by Micallef Cigars.
I like that. I like where you went with that one. That would be, where you still have a media badge, you still have media credentials, and then you paid for by someone else. But
I think that's fair.
I think that's fair, but what would be fair is, so when this year PCA, like it was the end of the year or the beginning of the year, they start sending out the emails, hey, renew, it's time to renew. And I don't know who from PCA, sends those out, but I had replied, I go, I'm having a hard time justifying $400. Like what do I get? And they came back with all of this stuff. Oh, you get this. I'm like, no, I'm media. I don't get any of that. I don't get those perks. I don't need those as media. What do I get as a media personality attending your event for 4 days, 1 day to 5 days, whatever.
Giving you money. What do I?
I'm giving you, and I know it goes to fight a good cause, but at the end of the day, I'm promoting your event. I'm promoting all of these manufacturers. There should be, maybe an X number of media passes given out for free each year. The manufacturers chip in and pay for that badge. Okay, we're going to give 100 media or 50 media badges, and then you got to apply for those. And then the legitimate media, maybe they get one of those free badges.
I agree. I don't think there's anything like Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest doesn't charge for media. They interview you. You have to produce specs. You have to produce that you are media. But attending, you get everything that a paid ticket gets. Now, walking around PCA, Kevin, I've never been there. Do you just get handed random cigars as media?
You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to get the cigars, and you're not supposed to take them, or you're not supposed to ask for them.
Why? What is the idea behind
that? That's just a rule.
Part of the perks, though. I mean, especially if you're going to media and you're going to be doing interviews with folks, and you're going to be smoking their cigars or interviewing someone who has a cigar brand, and it would make sense, especially if it's legitimate, right? And I think that's where you're coming from now. Is this legitimate, or is this just being a free badge given hand to someone, or whatever the case may be? But at the end of the day, if it's legitimate, then you should be able to partake in all of that the event has to offer.
I agree.
Because you are also participating, but you're also giving back with that media coverage.
And let's be very honest, cigar media is a rare media. We are it for the cigar world. They don't get magazines like they used to. Yes, Cigar Aficionado, Cigar Snob. Okay, fine. But they don't get full covers. We all remember as kids. I'm almost 40. Kevin, you're a little older than me, and Kerr, you're a little older than me as well. We all remember when tobacco used to actually advertise. Yeah. We are it. Cigar media and what we do is it. If Dojo, Aficionado, Snob go away, it is going to be a massive hit to the cigar side of sales and everything else. So in my opinion, the media is the driving engine of the cigar world's growth.
Jennifer, like who, Kevin?
But I was the other thing along with that, which is true, is when you're talking about this type of media, right? It's just not the recordings. It's just not the editing. It's just not the playing it. It's also dealing with all the nonsense of the different platforms. Like, Kevin, how many of your shows were erased and then you had to re-upload and
TikTok
edit, and how many hours were spent on that alone? So it's a rabbit hole that you can easily go down. But I think at the end of the day, if you're media and if you're paying a membership, I think the membership should pay for your badge.
No, I agree.
I think if there's additional monies that they want to charge to partake in everything else, fine. I think getting cigars at the cigar at booths and everything else, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's part of the promotion.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that as well. Now, when you go in and you get your badge, you're not entitled to anything. Like, you're not entitled to, like at the Great Smoke, free cigars. You don't go around and you give them your ticket. It's there for business. You talk to them and you get that. So as And then I left with a ton of cigars last year because half of them, I was only there for the one day. So I visited all my friends. And so they loaded me up with cigars. And I think, some of that is to keep some of the influencers. They had a problem with that like 3 years ago where, there was a big deal on that. And then getting in under manufacturers or whatever. And I understand that the price point, you could possibly keep it high to keep fake media out, because if it was free or if it was only $50, like everybody.
Well, what's fake media? Take somebody like me.
No. I think that would, if the average consumer, like, oh, hey, all I got to do is like do something and then I can get in for a $50 badge and go to PCA. I'll start a quick blog or I'll do one video.
Okay, I think you should have a rolling 12 months.
Yeah,
I'll concede that.
Yeah, I think that, and I know Coop talked about this like a year ago. I think on an episode of KMA, like there should be somebody needs to set guidelines for media. I don't know what those guidelines are. Even Coop then didn't know what the guidelines should be, but there should be guidelines as to what is media.
But once you get that guideline set up, right?
Yes.
And you're paying how much a year is media?
$400.
What do you get for $400?
I get to go to the event.
You get a receipt.
I get to spend thousands of dollars more to go to an event.
No, I'm saying, but what do you get a ticket to get in?
Yeah, I get a ticket to get in, and then I bring one person with me at no charge. I get one additional ticket at no charge, and then I think like I know Coop brings like a half a dozen guys with them, right. And I think there's like a charge. Like $50, 40, whatever it is for each additional ticket.
For the $400, you get a ticket, get there, with someone else.
Yeah.
And then that's fine. And I think from that point, again, I go back to getting, I think, all the benefits that everybody else is there who gets. I mean,
there shouldn't be a rule that first off, in my opinion, if I own the fucking company, there should be no rule of what I can give out versus what I can't. Now, if I'm giving out stuff that's illegal based on age requirement, fine.
Yeah.
But everybody that's going into the PCA should be over 21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legitimately. So whatever as a don't get me wrong. There's manufacturers that I'm super buddy with that I could walk up to and know I could walk out with a stack. And then there's other manufacturers that may give me one.
Yeah.
Who cares? The fact is, it's not the PCA's product, and they should not be able to denote that kind of specification on another company's product.
Now I know there is a little bit when it comes to the FDA of giving cigars away.
Right.
So that's a big no-no, so like you're not allowed to give cigars away. But there is certain cases where you can, to a lounge that you're looking to get their business. So that could be part of it. I know, I don't know what media plays into that. Maybe there's like a fine rule. It's like one of those, we have to make this rule, but maybe we don't.
Sure there's a loophole.
Well, look at it like this. Was it last year? The Fuente did a big thing, invited 200 people, and they gave everybody a cigar.
Yeah.
What the hell is the difference? Just because I don't own a lounge doesn't mean I'm not part of this industry, this business. If you go to a drinking event, a beer event, or a whiskey event, and you're holding a show, you're going to be sampling the whiskey or the beer.
Yeah.
Like, nobody bitches and moans. Everybody just bitches and moans when it's tobacco.
It's tobacco. Yeah. I mean, listen, if you're going to sit there and regulate cigars and say that there's kids smoking cigars, but you're perfectly okay with them selling ice cream alcohol, that's when you start looking at the comparisons, that's where you just go, okay, I can't do the comparisons because it's
correct.
You can't.
Correct. You go to TPE, they're ripping bongs. What? Right in the middle of the floor. Like, what the hell is the difference, everybody?
Yeah, and there may be more intricacies that I'm not aware of or I'm not privy to. So I don't know, but like I said, I'm from like an outsider kind of, and with the PCA, that's what I kind of consider myself, an outsider. There's an organization, a trade organization that I should be promoting, but I feel animosity towards. And we're gonna be talking next week. We got
Scott Pierce.
No. We have Antoine Reed from the PCA on the show. So, but and we may bring up some of these topics to him as well. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's crazy that I feel a little animosity towards an event that I should be, promoting. But I just feel like it's like Care said earlier. It's one way. Like I said, I give, and I get nothing in return.
It's all upside for them. I mean, and it's being objective about it, right? I mean, and it doesn't matter who you are. I mean, I think that, and Kevin knows me a long time. I'm a pretty objective person. I try not to bring my personal feelings into a lot of things. So if you're going to an event, when you're media, it's all upside for an event, because they're getting the money from you. You're showing up there at the event. Any media that you're doing during that time is promoting the event and the manufacturer. So there is no downside on their end.
Yeah.
For the amount of media money that is generated versus PCA event floor space money, it's a drop in the bucket. How many actual cigar media guys are going that they're making less than 10 grand from? Like, they would get more in promotional money, and that should just be considered a marketing budget. I am in full favor. Next week, Kevin, please tell them what's his name?
Antoine. I don't know if you're.
He should bring up the fact that manufacturers should get, if they so choose, to be able to designate one of their badges to a media company if that's what they want to do.
Well, the person to bring that up would be, because Antoine, which he runs Deep Cuts Live. I mean, you've ever seen the show? Mm-hmm. It's a great show. Cigar Coop. He sits on the board now. So Coop is the one that would probably be able to answer that question and bring that up, because directly to the board, and figure out how we get, media. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, but there's like 25 people on the board.
I know, but at least we got a media guy on the.
That's true. I'll take Coop over.
Yeah, same here. So have you guys been following all the coverage? What do you guys? Is there anything new that you're excited to see, feel, touch, smoke?
Honestly, my wife's been gone for the last few days. It's been daddy-daughter weekend. I have not had time to sit through. Come Wednesday when I'm back at work, I'll have it on in the background. But when
I go back to work, that's when I'll slack off and watch all the coverage.
Well, I the way my mind works, I have really bad ADD. I have to have something going on in the background all the time, whether it be a show, talk show, whatever. Is usually going. Honestly, I catch your show most of the time the next day while I'm at work, and I even do the same for like KMA and stuff, because it's just easier and be like, oh yeah, hey Ari, I'm gonna sit back for 2 hours and watch a show when we could be hanging out. It just doesn't fly very well.
Yeah. So I'm Care, anything you're excited about?
No.
I'm excited about the new Asylum 13 Cool Brew.
I saw that.
I know these are rebranded because they did the whole line for Deadwood, or the new owners of Deadwood, and then they got sued, so they had to change the boxes and the names. But I'm excited for those. The new which they talked about the other day, the Lego El Reloj Factory, JC Newman Lego.
Oh, I like that.
Are you serious? Actually sponsored Lego?
Lego, and this is the JC Newman El Reloj Factory. Now, what you didn't see it on the backside, but apparently you can see like the inner workings of the clock or something, So And you
That's
get the bill.
awesome.
I know. I'm going to.
Is that going to only be sold at JC Newman?
Only at the factory. You got to go to the factory. I'm going to the factory and picking one. Actually, I'm try and dry bag for one first, and then if I don't get one for free,
Good. Jennifer's going to
will.
PayPaling you money for one too.
Yeah, I don't know what the MSRP on that, but I can only imagine it's got to be $100 at least.
I will say, since we're talking about Newman, you know, when I felt like I finally made it was this last year at TGS. And what I mean by that is I had Bobby Newman as I walked by him and was like, hey, Bobby, he goes, how you doing? I like your show. I watch it. He's like, you actually subscribed to my show, and I had like a drink that night with like a really nice cigar with my wife when you subscribed to. When Bobby Newman subscribes to your show, you know that you're at least on the face inside the cigar world.
I had a great conversation with Bobby. I don't know where I saw him. It wasn't the Great Smoke. It was before that somewhere. And he got me into the Southeastern Guide Dogs, and I sponsor a puppy. And then and we were talking about that, and I go, Bobby, let me show you, because we talked about it. I go, I want to show you Daphne, my puppy. And he's like, oh my God. So I'm just scrolling through my phone, like my puppy Daphne that I've never met, and that was our conversation was about the dog. But yeah, because they're huge into the dogs. But yeah, the super cool family. I love them. Drew, absolutely fantastic cat. But yeah, I can't wait to get this Lego set.
Yeah, and Bobby gave me his cell phone number, and he goes, "Call me. Let's keep in touch."
Yeah, he gave on the last tour we did. We were all finished with the tour, and he looked at Jessica and I, and he goes, "Hold on 1 second." So he went to his office, and he came back with a 5-pack of the cigars, ones that come in the bundle, the Yaguas, and he goes, "This is from my personal collection from the very first shipment that we ever did." He goes, I just want to make sure you guys, get some of those. So he ran into his office.
That's an amazing cigar.
They're fantastic. What about the which, if you haven't seen, this is the Cigar Bros and Boveda Humidor.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you? What was the expanded polypropylene? So it's foam.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of excited about this one. I mean, it's only retails $50, holds 80 cigars.
Yeah, it's very affordable. I've seen them with this stuff for like 75 that hold 50. So yeah, I'm really excited for that.
I'm excited. What I'm not excited about are all the new the lighters that are debuting this year. All the new lighters.
Lighters are trash.
How many lighters are you guys fucking? Even in the chat panel, how many lighters is everybody fucking buying?
Okay. So I'm just gonna say, this is not me blowing smoke up your ass, Kevin. This is by far this and I have my Alec Bradley Bunsen burner.
Yeah.
This and that Bunsen burner are the most reliable. First off, you could fucking weld with this thing.
Yeah.
Like legit. On low, I have to have this thing like on the other side of the room to light the cigar. This thing is illegal in like 30 states. This is absolutely fantastic. And I think I filled it. I use it like every day, and I think I filled it like 3 times. It's huge.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's my go-to as well. I do love this, but I've had this. Now, I've had a number of lighters like you, Kevin, and I'm sure you, Ryan, where they're 50, 60, 70, 80, $120, $150. This has been my 1999 lighter that I think I've had this for a year.
Yep.
And it still works.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's been more reliable than some of the most expensive lighters that I've purchased along the way. I think when someone asked me before, they're like, well, what do you suggest? I said, listen, invest good money into a good cutter, because that is where when you cut a cigar, if it's a bad cutter or if it's a cheap cutter, it's going to mangle your cigar. Then your whole experience screwed. You can buy a Bic lighter. You can buy matches. You can light that cigar with a gas oven, whatever. It's going to light. but the cutter is the most important tool that you're going to want.
Yeah.
No, just
I
want to
agree.
interrupt 1 second. Karen, Jess had to go. She's not feeling well. So if you could take over on the backside stuff. But,
no, totally. I agree. I think I watched a video of Kevin's years ago. I mean, it was a long old video. And Kevin was talking about cigar lighters. And he showed that he had these expensive ones. And he goes, the only one that I have that I will tell you always lights is this $10, $15 lighter. Ever since then, I stopped going crazy.
Ellie Blue, Tatuaje, The Bride, number 13, $400 retail value, flat flame. It works every time. But you can't light with it because it's not made ergonomically to use it, but it's badass. I will have it for display, you know. But yeah, it's super cool. But yeah, I don't know. I'm staring at 30, 50 lighters. You know, some of them I get free. You know, but yeah, I don't get the media release that. Hey, you know, this $20 lighter that we have, it now comes in red.
But like they're all from fucking China. Everybody that makes those has it all the same manufacturer.
It's so there's one block in China. So it's one and I've seen I watched several videos on it, TikTok videos. One they actually created it's a whole like block. It's its own city. And 99% of all the lighters in the world are made at these, you know, various factories within like this, all controlled by the government. But yeah, they're all coming out. They're all coming out of the same place.
It's like glasses. Garbage. You guys both wear glasses.
I don't.
Well, yeah, you have glasses on right now.
Yeah.
All glasses are made at like 2 or 3 places.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't matter if they're Dolce & Gabbana or if they're Walmart. They're all made at the same place. It's just the dollar amount put on the end product.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, all the new lighters. But yeah, new cutters. People talking about the Saka, the new cutter. That thing is badass.
That looks amazing.
I've felt it. I've used it. It's great. It's the first cigar cutter that maybe I could be wrong, but it has a replaceable blade. Uses the same blades that cuts potato chips. So Luigi sourced, you know, because Steve wanted, if I remember the story correctly, he wanted this blade, like let's get it done. And then Luigi's like, why don't we just use a company that makes blades for an industrial application that has to work all the time, thousands and thousands of times over and over again. Let's just use that blade, you know, and that's what they have. It's a blade that, you know, is used to make potato chips.
It took me a while to figure out what was going on because I seen all the pictures on Facebook, and the only picture I kept popping up was the cutter and then a Q-tip. And I'm like, why do they keep showing pictures of someone cleaning a cutter with a Q-tip? And then I had to take the time to read it.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, next year at PCA, I hear there's a $40 million cutter.
Yeah. God. So it's
an NFT.
Yeah, but that will be but like you know, like Kara said, you got to have a quality, and we all have different cutters. You know, I've got 3 different V cutters. You know, I've got a couple different punches for various sizes. You know, I've got some straight cutters. So yeah, I mean, I could easily have a dozen cutters and then have them all in my regular rotation.
Yeah.
But yeah, as in lighters, I just don't get it. I don't get and obviously they got to be making money because they just wouldn't keep coming up with new lighters constantly if they weren't making money on it.
My favorite cutter I own is the Freestyle Live Perfect Cutter. I have not had a better perfect cutter than this, and I have 2 of them. I have another one right here from a different event, same thing. And then I lost my V-cut, and my buddy bought me a beautiful Zycar. That's it. I don't do punches. I don't like punches. I get why people do, but they're not for me.
You got to get that jet line. the Judge on there. I think they call it something
Are you
else
talking
now.
about the melon? That's the one cutter that I want to try. Is
Yeah,
the melon baller.
I love my melon baller from Cigar Medics. I use it probably 75% of the time. I use it. I've used it on both my cigars tonight. I love it. Other than that, I'm using my my Jetline V cut because it's the deepest V cut, you know, on the market. You know, so I love it. It's
I got my Calibri deep cut, and then I have the Calibri desktop that does a standard V and a straight cut, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I know Jennifer uses one of those perfect cuts, and every once in a while I'll use it. Usually with a Lancero, you know, I just want to get just the tip of it. I don't want to do a V or a V cut on that. But other than that, that's really it, because they've been very reliable. They last a long time. They cut well, and that's what I'm more concerned about. Outside of that, when I'm in a jam,
absolutely. But Kevin, I'm curious. What did you think of that cigar you smoked?
The first one?
Yeah, the RMC.
Yeah. Let's get into that, because it destroyed my palate. Because I'm smoking this. No, very smoky. So like it's definitely I thoroughly enjoyed it. Smoke, burn, draw, razor sharp, you know, burn line, solid ash, great cigar. It needs to be the last cigar you smoke of the day, because it doesn't have a Kentucky fire cured a taste to it, but there is a fire cured, there is a smokiness that will get on your palate, and then like it's. So like I said, I chose another cigar. This one's just an unbanded, you know, cigar, because I just don't know, you know. I knew after smoking it, I'm like, well, I can't smoke anything I really want to enjoy, just because it would just be for the sake of smoking.
It definitely gives you a smoky meatiness versus a Kentucky Fire.
Let's get into that. Tell us about that cigar. Can people buy that cigar? Is this something going to be in the works in the future?
Yeah, no, the cigar right now, you can go to ROCF Cigars.com or BAMF Cigars.com. It's called the MRE, or Meal Ready to Eat, or Breakfast of Champions. And you can buy that. I think it's like $35 for a 5-pack. Very, very economically priced. But what it was a complete accident. So Ish is one of those guys that has fun with cigars. He's not like a Fuente heavy traditionalist, can't do anything weird with a cigar type deal. So he was making bacon, not mine at the time, but bacon and smoking. Excuse me. And smoking.
I don't want to interrupt, but that I only recall, you know, that's only for the cigars. You know, he does have one called the pea juice. So I don't want. Yeah. So yeah.
No, he's
Fuente. Yeah.
But I did not know that, so that's interesting. But anyway, so Ish was
you know the full name. It's pussy juice. It's a Fuente pussy juice.
I did not. That shocks me.
Okay.
But, but anyways, he was hand flipping bacon and like smoking a cigar, right? And he was realizing that the bacon grease was absorbing into the cigar, and he was able to taste it. So blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, I sent him a slab of my bacon for his 50th. And he's like, oh, dude, I want to give you something back. And I'm like, if you're going to do anything, I'm like, just make me a bundle, just one bundle of Breakfast of Champions with my bacon grease. And he calls me up after he did. He goes, this is incredible. So he came up for Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest, and I gave him out to everybody unbanded. And everybody loved him. So we're driving to Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest. He looks over at me. He goes, so we're going to do this, right? I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, this is just for fun. He goes, no, but we're going to do this because I'm going to make this cigar, but I want to use your bacon grease. So now every single Meal Ready to Eat or Breakfast of Champion that you buy has Rocky Mountain Cigar Show or Rocky Mountain Gourmet Bacon grease. And what he does is he rubs the interior leaves down, a certain number of interior leaves down with an X percentage of grease, lets them dry, and then rolls them into the cigar. And when you do that, it's a natural infusion. So you don't have to worry about infusing anything in your humidor, but you're going to get that like sweet backside from the maple and brown sugar with that really nice meaty smokiness to the middle of the palate. And it's very, very good cigar. And it's a really good cigar with coffee, because what he does is, instead of using water for the glue, he mixes coffee in for the glue. So there's a very, very subtle, very light coffee infusion on the tip.
Carrie, that's a good idea right there, Carrie.
That's a great idea.
I know.
Way to go, Ish.
Yeah. So get on it. You know, I'm just wondering, you know, also, so the number one concern would be, you know, is wiping a leaf down on the inside of a smoker. You know, so now you have I mean, cigars are a natural product as well, but then you have, you know, you're introducing a food grade product to the, obviously, I mean, there's no issues with it, you know, but yeah, it's a little, you know.
Well, you got to let them dry before you roll them. That's the key.
No, that makes sense.
It's knowing when they're at the right spot.
Yeah. So, okay.
To roll.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Okay. So yeah, if you, as long as you're not rolling them wet, you're good.
No, good God.
Yeah.
No. They rub them down. They let them hang. They let them dry.
I wonder.
Then they go.
Yeah, I wonder if you could put like cap that smoke, because I'm not a smoker type of guy. I don't know, that's a whole different type of person that I'm not capable of being. But I love the smell whenever my friends are smoking. Wonder if you could channel that smoke into a container that has like cigars that have already been bunched and have the binder on there. You know, have that smoke pass through.
Dry them out.
It would dry the hell out.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
It's a hot smoke. It's a hot smoke.
Oh, so it's not like a moist smoke that would infuse. Okay.
No. That's kind of like the Candela. That's the reason why when they do the Candela, it's high heat, really smoking. And that's why it's so brittle when they pull it out. And then they got to rehydrate it. Yeah. That would really do a number on them. I gotta bust Ish's balls when I see him. He still owes me T-shirts. He still owes me 2 T-shirts, that son of a bitch. Ish is a great. I love Ish. She's a great guy. We got to be pretty good friends, but yeah, he. I ordered 2 shirts from him, and he said, "Oh, they sent me the wrong T-shirts," and then it just kind of forgot about it. So I got to send him a random text one day, just be like, "Hey, where's my T-shirts, man?"
Oh, he'll send them to you with huge apologies. So Ish is one of the nicest.
Here better be a huge apology.
Yeah, and, just to let people know that a lot of people don't, and I'm not going to give any names or brands, but Ish is probably one of the most prolific rollers in the industry that works with so many brands, huge legacies down to brand new. So Ish, it's always fun when you have a conversation with him, because he knows everything. He knows all the insides, and you know, he's my cigar industry lie detector.
Yeah.
Just don't get on his bad side on an Instagram live.
Oh,
you know,
no. That's the one thing that's what I love about Ish, though, is he is what he is on or off the camera. And if you cross him, he's not the person to cross, in my opinion. But, you know, the cigar kind of boosted us into, you know, a lot of other experiences with Abe buying our bacon, and Abe kind of tickling my ear for a while now to start the company. So we launched into a bacon company.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Bacon. Yeah, so all I did was make bacon that I wanted to eat. I hated store-bought bacon. I never intended on it to be outside of my circle. And I've sent several things over to you, Kevin, and Abe, and Fred Rui, and a lot of other family and friends. And we launched live after TGS about a month after just thinking about it and mulling it over. My partner, Jeff, who Kevin, you've met, decided that we were going to go in on this together. And within a month, we were sold out through July. We actually had to suck sales back in just to be able to keep up with it. So now we're moving into a big facility, and we're able to kick out around 300 pounds in a smoke, 300 to 400 pounds in a smoke. So we're going to be able to keep up with big orders. All you got to do is go to baconfix.com and you could set yourself up for a 5 pound or a 10 pound or even subscription.
So what makes your bacon different?
I can pronounce every of the 5 ingredients that's in it.
Okay.
And on top of it, my bacon is done the old way, so it's not waterlogged. So when you look at bacon from the store, you're always going to see caramel color. Anytime you see caramel color on the ingredients of bacon, that means it was soaked, it was submerged for the cure. It was either an injection cure or a submerged cure, which is about a 3-day cure. I use a dry rub cure, which sits for around 7 to 9 days, usually around 7 days. And at that point, I cook it to 160 degrees. So like Kevin, when I sent you that, it came room temperature. And it's completely safe because it's essentially a jerky style method that we do. And we cook it to 160 degrees. So we always recommend that you pan fry it, but you absolutely don't have to. There's many times where I'll go and grab a yogurt in the morning and 2 pieces of unpan fried bacon because it's fully cooked and ready to go. You can do cheese and crackers with it and everything else.
I cook mine. I don't, I know it's cooked. I know. And when you say jerky style, so people listening, it's not like jerky, like a stick of jerky.
No,
like,
jerky style as in the cure method that allows it to not physically need the refrigeration for a couple of weeks.
I think I contacted Ryan when I ordered.
Yes, Carrie, you bought some.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
I was
right.
like, yo, dude.
Karen and I split the last order.
Yes.
This bacon, it came in a box. It's not really cold.
Doesn't have
it's like, no, it's fine. I'm like, oh, so then we ate it, and I was like, okay, it's good stuff.
I still put mine in the fridge, and I cooked it because I'm a germaphobe, and I know, and I used to be a chef. I know all about food safety, and I know it was safe. But the inner germaphobe in me is like, this is not how we're going out, Kevin.
Absolutely, absolutely. But think of it before. So to answer Facebook user, it's baconfix.com or RockyMountainGourmetBacon.com as well. Both take you to the same shopping cart. Both will get you an order. But we have been trained to think unrefrigerated, uncold bacon is unsafe because of the process we have now. If you look, I went back to like an 1800s, early 1900s method of doing my bacon because I wanted to ship it to family and friends and have it be safe.
I mean, people used to die when they were 30 back then too, so maybe not use that as a selling point of your bacon.
Correct, but they died from that way more from like not necessarily that level or that style of cure because it's the same way that they cure in Italy hams, and they've been doing it for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Was it the Ibizina or something like that? Ibizina ham is hundreds of dollars. It's done the exact same way.
A 30-year-old sausage.
Yeah, he just had some 30-year-old sausage from Lars Teton's.
Yeah, I went over. I went back home, and Lars like, "Hey, come up. I'm going to cook for you." I said, "Okay," and I stopped, and he goes, "Hey, here's some sausage." And I was like, "Okay, that looks not good." And he's like, "Here's some cheese." And I'm like, "That looks really not good. That looks like you just put down like a petrified, whatever, and a rock." And then he cut off it. It was freaking fantastic. It was really, really good sausage.
It's all about like I had when my granny passed away, and I'd been down there several years after she passed away, in the very, very back cabinet. And by the way, if you guys want to look for some fun shit, go look in the back of your grandparents' cabinets if they're from like Depression era. There's tons of weird shit back there. And there was a jam, a hog plum jam that I'm sure you know of, Kevin, what hog jelly is, hog plums. They're all over the state of Florida. They're very sour.
No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not, Ryan.
No,
you've been to Florida twice? No.
Right. No. Did you hear him talk about his germaphobe? You think Kevin would ever store anything called hog jelly?
No, it's no, seriously. My dad grew up in Ocala, Florida. We would go all over the place. There's hog plum trees and everything else. But anyways,
Ocala is old. Let's see, old Florida. So yeah,
it is very old.
Kevin kicks the pig. He doesn't jellify him.
But there was a jar of jelly from it had the date of like 77 or 78 on it. And I opened it, and my granddad gave me a spoon, and he goes, "It's at your own expense right now." And I ate it. It was fantastic. Tasted fresh. And so we ended up eating the whole thing. And it was the last thing I ever ate.
Well, they made that in depression.
Yeah, right. That my granny actually canned.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like huge nostalgia, just growing up my life, eating her canned stuff. And
now when I was a kid, we'd go and visit my grandparents in Ohio, in their basement. I remember as a kid, my grandfather having like this pot of some kind with a cheesecloth covering it, and he would peel it back and there'd be a bunch of mold and shit floating on top, and he'd kind of push it out of the way and bring out a pig's foot, and then start eating it. And it's just like, I can still, it's so disgusting. So disgusting. But he grew up in that era. I mean, you didn't throw away any part of any animal, when you were growing up, because you had to eat everything.
You had to live. Eating and living, same thing. Good. No, good.
Yeah, let me show you this here real quick. So let me see if it'll let me do it. It won't let me do it. Here. So this is a hog plum.
Let me just add. Okay. I don't. I mean, I still don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's a hog plum. We at my granddad.
Is it balls?
Yeah, well, yeah, they're little tiny plums.
No, I mean,
with a little pit.
Are they like Rocky Mountain oysters? Are they testicles?
I think they are. They're a little juicy and creamy, so they might be.
Oh, okay. So it just reminds me of the Chevy Chase movie where he's eating the whatever.
Testicles.
Yeah. Well, what do they call them? But they go, I never found somebody so like sheep testicle. What? The key is you got to cut them off real high. Oh my man. God, disgusting. So
I learned one thing. If I ever get to visit Ryan, if he hands me a plate of food.
Yeah.
No, I don't eat that now.
I'm going to need context.
No, I don't eat that now. Now you'll just get some squirrel, rabbit, maybe some armadillo,
That's
stuff like
that.
But I grew up eating all that shit in Ocala. I mean, my gosh, I'd go out squirrel hunt and come back with 5 of them. Granny have them in the pan in 15 minutes.
Well, you got to eat 5. There's squirrels.
Just like dove hunting.
Yeah.
You got to shoot 100 of them.
Well, yeah, you only breast the dove. There's not much there. But the best dove is Dove Poppers. Have you ever had those, Care?
Funny Farm. That was the name of the movie.
You take the jalapeno, you core it out, and you shove the breast inside the jalapeno, and then wrap the whole thing in bacon. It is the really best.
Good. That does.
I do like dove.
So, Ryan, let's end the show. You've got an event coming up. Are tickets still available?
Sold out.
So tell us a little bit about the event, and then that way people can get stoked for it next year.
Sure. So this was an event that I've always, ever since, I've had so many people in the cigar world just unbelievably open their arms to me. I really wanted to show that the cigar world and the community inside of Colorado and the Rocky Mountains does actually give back without necessarily getting much in return. So we started this charity organization. My partner, Tony Pfeiffer, and I. Tony owns Casbar Cigar Lounge in Lafayette and Parker, Colorado. And we started this, and it's called Rocky Mountain Cigar Night Charity Fund. And last year, we teamed up with Ronald McDonald House Charities. And we were actually able at our first event to raise $8,000. Now, we only sold 65 out of 80 tickets that we had. I say only, that's still pretty good, really good. But this year, we sold 100 of 100. So we sold out a couple weeks before the event, and a lot of them were, pretty much everybody that came last year bought tickets this year. my goal this year is we're working with Shadow Warriors Project, which, since we brought up BAMF Cigars several times, I teamed up Ish and Mark Geist, which everyone can go back and watch the show that Kevin and I did when we interviewed Mark Geist. Mark Geist is from Benghazi, the whole Benghazi thing that went on during the Obama administration.
13 hours?
I think. In the movie 13 Hours. So we teamed up with him, and we're having the benefit for him. Ish made him a specific Shadow Warriors Project cigar that is going to be sold to raise money. So the entire event is all about giving, and it's all about when legislation comes up. Our goal is that someday our event can be shown as a model of how the cigar world and the cigar community within inside of Colorado gives back. So when they come up with taxes and all these other things to stop this world, they'll know what they're giving up. Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to ever be, $1 million and stuff like that. But, $20,000, $30,000 for a charity is a lot of money. And when you have the cigar community opening up their pocketbooks and buying auction items that they can buy for less because it is giving, it is an absolutely amazing event. And everybody, there's no bickering, there's no selling. This is the largest non-selling event in the state of Colorado focused around the cigar world. And all you got to do is buy the ticket, show up, open bar, you're going to get food. Last year we gave away 9 cigars with the ticket. So everybody gets their money back. We've got custom made glasses that we're doing this year, sponsored by Axe and the Oak on the back. We have custom made coins made. So we're making this event very, very heavily cigar tailored. We've got sponsors. Last year we had 16. This year I think we have close to 20. So it's just an event solely for the cigar community to have an avenue to give back. And that is what we did.
Now the Shadow Warriors Project cigar by BAMF Cigars, is that only available at that event, or is this going to be something going forward that people will be able to get?
So that's a great question. The way I understand it going forward is that you will be able to buy them off of Ish's website. They were officially announced at PCA and shown and given out at PCA. Now, our event, you will be able to, we're going to be auctioning off several boxes of those signed by Mark and signed by Ish. As Ish is a military individual himself, it just makes sense that he makes the cigar for them. But the emphasis on that cigar is to raise money because they're trying to get 30 to 60 acres to be able to have a dog training facility to where they can bring in vets to work with their dog before the vets go home with the dog. And that is a huge expense. It is the land, it is the boarding, it is the food, it is the dog cost. Each one of these dogs is roughly around $20,000 to $30,000 worth of training before that dog goes. So it is a massive expense.
Yeah, it is, and not all the dogs end up making it through. I know from my dog Daphne with Southeastern Guide Dogs, it was thousands and thousands of dollars, from training, and then basically upon her graduation final vet, there was an issue with her hips, and they basically failed her out of the program. The foster family that was helping, do the training and everything else took Daphne in. She's going to live her best life ever. But yeah, I mean, that's not always the case, that you get thousands of dollars into a dog, and then something, sometimes the dog's just not, I don't want to say trainable, but just not, can be used in that situation. And those thousands of dollars gone. Yeah.
And the other side of it too is selecting the right dog for the job could in itself be thousands of dollars just for that dog. And one of the things that Mark does is he trains load bearing dogs, which I'd never even heard of before Mark. which Mark actually has a vet of his that leans on everything because of his condition. He constantly has to lean. So what did Mark do? They went out and bought the biggest freaking dog they could find, and they trained the dog to be a leaning post for this vet. So the vet can just lean up against the dog, put all of its weight on the dog, whatever he's got to do. That is the dog's job. That is what the dog is trained to do, is just be there for literal body support. I don't even understand how you train a dog to do that, but it takes months and thousands of dollars to do.
Yeah, it's all the different jobs, you know, that the dogs are trained specifically for one individual. And then that the lifespan of that, not lifespan, the working lifespan of that dog is fairly short. Some of these dogs can only do this job for 5 years, 6 years, and then that's it, you know, and that's, you know, so you're spending, like you said, tens of thousands of dollars to train an animal that may only do that job for 5 years. And the owner's got to get another dog, which I can't even fathom, you know, working with a dog. I mean, that dog is living with you and everything else, and then having to get a different dog. That's just. But
just to go a little bit above what you said, you know, when Mark, I think, was on the show, or maybe this is when I was talking with him when we had dinner, he said the hardest thing to do with getting spouses to understand what that relationship is between the vet and the dog is going to be closer than you and your husband, and you have to be okay with that. That dog is going to be everything to your husband or wife that they're coming home from. So he goes, the hardest part is, one of the harder parts is getting the spouse to not be jealous over that attention, because you bond so intertwined with that animal.
Kara's going through that now. They got a new dog. Yeah. Yeah. I see Kara smirking when you say that. You're like, oh, preaching to the choir, Ryan.
I'm not jealous of it. It fills a lot of spots that I normally would have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like he actually said that he's had spouses come up to him like, they're just always together. And he goes, would you rather have them always together, or would you rather have them depressed and in a corner, shutting down?
Yeah.
I know Jessica gets really jealous of my relationship with Stella. Stella like used to be Jess's dog, but over the last like 9 months, Stella is my dog. I mean, she'll Jessica will come in the office and even just talk to me at the door. Stella comes, sit down right on her haunches, and then just, you know, looks at Jessica and, oh, you do not raise your voice to me. You know, Stella does not like that, you know, so I'm like, good girl.
That's great.
So Ryan, thank you so much for coming on. God, it's been
thank you for having me, man.
2 hours, 15 minutes. This has been a great episode. Everybody start typing in the word cigar for the Tapping Ash and Taking Names giveaway presented by Amendola Family Cigars. We have this is the July 2023 Corona Regular Cigar of the Month Club shipment. I don't know what's in this because I haven't done my unboxings yet. So I'm shipping this out blind because I don't know I don't want to know what's in it quite yet. But it is 6 cigars from for Corona Cigar, the Regular Cigar of the Month Club shipment. Next week will be our final episode. We're taking a hiatus. So we've only got one more episode in this lounge. And it's the last couple of days, you know, I've probably spent 40 hours, you know, in the last 3 days working on the new lounge. And a couple of times, like it's hit me. Like it's been hard. You know, like I said, I've come a long way from being out in the garage to building this office. And then now I have a cigar lounge, you know, I have a film studio, and it's hit me a couple times, you know, so it's been rough a couple times, but it's been a long time coming. So let's hear a word from our sponsor. Actually, do we hear where are we at? Oh no, it's let's hear a word from our sponsor. Amendola. thought we do the Corona cigar. Oh yeah. So before we move on, let's hear a word from I have in my notes from our sponsor, Corona Cigar. All right, now it's time for the Tapping Ash and Taking Names giveaway presented by Amendola Family Cigars. He has entered, so who cannot not win tonight? JJ Jambalaya, Rick Gardner, Robert King Jr., Randy Keller, and Celestino Zamora. So let's share the screen.
Hey, I do have an announcement.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right.
I got a. Or do you want me to wait for after the cigar?
Yeah, let's wait. As already. Yeah, let's wait a second.
Okay.
Andy Desario. Andy, send me an email, Kevin at cigarprop.com. Congratulations.
So what was one again? What was the winnings again?
That the winnings was the July 2023 Corona Cigar of the Month Club shipment.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, very nice. What was your announcement?
Oh, I'll be doing a educational cigar event on the 27th of August. We got some time, but since we are running out of shows, be doing at FH2 Cigars here in Simpsonville on the 27th from 2 to 4.
Well, tell us a little bit more about this event. What is the educational event about?
Well, they host these events quarterly, and the idea is they are ticketed events. I know a lot of members show up, but it's on a Sunday, and it goes from some of the real basics, cut, light, smoke. My event, I talked to Ken, one of the owners, is going to be a little bit more advanced conversation of the tobaccos. The deconstructed barber pole is going to be one of the featured cigars to discuss, the impact of the wrapper of that cigar. And I'm going to have some tobaccos as well for them to be able to taste and try.
Oh, are you from your tobaccos or?
That's the goal. Yeah. Chris they're supposed to be sending up some tobaccos from the factory.
How cool is that?
Yeah. So they'll be able to not only taste the tobaccos and kind of get the feel. And you know what it's like when you're working with these tobaccos. They dry. You got to spray them down with distilled water and kind of get some elasticity back to them. But the idea really is to go deeper than, cut, light, smoke and the cigar etiquette. It's really getting more into answering and getting. Whenever I've done these events, I really like them engaging and interactive. It's like
I do. The boring ones were like, hey, here's how you cut a cigar.
Right.
Here's
or
how
if
you
I'm
light
sit there and talk to somebody. It's just it's whatever. I'd rather have some engaging questions about the wrapper, filler, binder, and really getting into some of the best tobaccos. If you put them all together, it's going to make a horrible cigar. It's and some of these folks that are truly, there's blenders, and then there's the ones who are really master blenders who've been doing it their whole lives. I mean, it's amazing how they can pick some of these tobaccos and just put them all together, and you get a flavorful cigar. So we're going to be digging a little bit deeper.
I would love the three of us to do, because JC Newman, I don't think they've started it yet, or maybe they have just started it. They have like a blending. So they have like a couple different tours now to where you can go and you can roll your own cigar, but it's one of the ones that we've all been to. They have the binder. It's already a round cigar, and they teach you how to put the wrapper on it. But they have new blending sessions where you actually pick out the tobaccos that you think would go together. And Kara, they never turn out. They never turn
ask
out.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin knows it more so than anybody on what happens when you're like, I just ordered all this great tobacco. Here, Kevin, let me roll you a cigar. And it was like, I think Kevin and I were just sitting there shooting the shit. And then all of a sudden, Kevin just went silent. And I'm like, I'd never known Kevin to be this quiet before. And I looked over at him. I said, Kevin. He's like, that cigar, man. So we got to get Kevin some chocolate ASAP.
Yeah. Oh, it was strong, Ryan. Oh, was it strong?
I've only had one cigar get me close to popping, and that was the Protocol Dojo Taser.
Oh, yeah.
And outside of that, I have never smoked a cigar. Even the second go around for that, it didn't hit me that way.
Yeah,
but
both times I've thrown up, it's been on a Partagas.
Really?
Yeah, and an American Partagas is that, not a Cuban Partagas.
I've never thrown up on a cigar, but
Hey,
I
Taylor,
have had.
Sorry.
What's that? Go ahead.
No,
What's
go
that?
ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I've only had one time where I stood up and I was like, okay, yeah. Not good in it. It was in Princeton, New Jersey, at a very small little cigar shop. Great guys, great folks, and it was gosh, I can't remember which sock it was when it first came out. I think it was the Sin Compromiso when it first came out, if I'm not mistaken. And I had like only a salad for lunch, just like not even a meat salad, just salad. And I remember smoking that and standing up and going, okay, I need to sit back down and kind of regain my composure because I got real lightheaded real quick.
Kara, how far are you from Charlotte?
Hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half.
Cool. I'm coming out there on business in a month or so. I'm going to hit you up.
Yeah. We're that'd be great. We are in Greenville or Simpsonville, but we're like smack dab 185. Like here's Charlotte, here's us, here's Atlanta. So we're probably like 2 hours from Atlanta, 2.5 hours from Atlanta, about an hour and a half from Charlotte. So I fly out of Charlotte Airport all the time because it's easier for me just to drive up to Charlotte Airport and get a direct flight than it is for me to go to Greenville. And that connector is usually in Charlotte. And it's just easier for me to do that. So yeah, it's right up the road.
Yeah, I'm going to be out there in a couple months. I've got about 3 or 4 clients out there. I'm going to come and spend a few days out there, so I'll hit you up.
Yeah, let me know. We'll connect.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, let me know when you're going to be out there, and because I know we wanted to come up and see Karen and Jen to see the new place, and with what we got going on here, it's just tough to do it right now. So, a couple months that might work out as well.
Well, you're supposed to get out here, Kev.
So Jessica still may get out there for that event, but I can't get out.
All future bacon will be sent to Jessica.
Yes. So all right. Next week we welcome Antoine Reed from Deep Cuts Live. He's actually doing all the content for the PCA now. So a lot of the videos that you've been seeing on Instagram have all been filmed, edited by Antoine, and he is creating some banging content. Jessica and I have just been loving what he's been putting out. So we'll be talking to him about PCA. Kara will have to get together, figure out what questions we want to ask Antoine about not only Deep Cuts Live, his history into the cigar world, and then talking about PCA. And talking about his role in that. So it's going to be super, super awesome. Make sure you're following Cigar Props, producer Jessica, Cara Villahante of Stogie Road Cigars on all the social medias. Ryan from Rocky Mountain Cigar Show. His links are in the social media links are in the video description below as well. Podcast description if you're listening to this in the future. Also, the social media links for our all of our wonderful, wonderful partners for making this show happen each and every week. Big thanks to JC Newman Cigars, Cigar Medics, and Mandola Cigars. We are the muscle. Jake Wyatt Cigars, Illusione Cigars, deep in flavor, deep in your mind. K by Karen Berger Cigars, Corona Cigar, and of course, Drew Estate and Experienced Acid. Kara usually leaves us with a final thought, but we're going to have Ryan and Kara leave us with a final thought for tonight. Ryan, what is your final thought that you'd like everybody to take away?
So, we are the muscle. I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. So the whole Aganorsa flex.
I love how you throw a Y in Aganorsa. You've said that.
Aganorsa.
Aganorsa. Yeah.
Aganorsa. Okay,
Aganorsa.
there. I
Aganor-
pronounce everything wrong. I'm white.
Yeah.
The Aganorsa Flex was started on my show, actually.
Really?
Well, absolutely. You go to the last time Terrence Riley came on the show, I told him on the show that you need to take the arm and do the equivalent that Captain Morgan did with the whole Captain Morgan, everyone putting the one thing up. And he goes, I don't know if it'll take off. I don't know if it'll take off. After that, he started the campaign for Aganorsa, hashtag Aganorsa Flex. And it didn't go anywhere for like a week and then took off. So the Aganorsa Flex was started on my show.
Oh, that's awesome. Now we got hashtag Flexilent, hashtag like Flexalicious. So we've got we got a few more hashtags as well.
That's a great story. Yeah, actually, I used to do We Are the Muscle, and Kevin yelled at me and said that's the Aganorsa leaf. So now I got to bring up the other one. do the Chris and Jeffrey, one each arm. So
that's it. Care, leave us with some final thoughts for tonight.
Life is short. Eat bacon. Bye from Brian.
Baconfix.com.
Baconfix.com. All right. We'll see everybody next week.